Fractured but clear and little wind. Chris Myers welcoming you back here in Baltimore, getting ready for the kickoff. Frustration, desperation for the Eagles started this week when Andy Reid ripped into his team, inferring that jobs would be on the line. A players-only meeting called by Brian Dawkins, more about accountability and not finger-pointing. Asante Samuel said teammates said it's the angriest they've ever seen Andy Reid, and he had a right to be. The last time there was a players-only meeting, Sam and Tim, was earlier this year after Game 5 when Donovan McNabb called it. The Eagles went on a 3-game winning streak. They hope that starts today, but Harbaugh and the Ravens have other ideas.
And there is Donovan McNabb, who needs to have a big game. The Eagles won the toss of the coin. They have elected to defer to the second half. Donovan McNabb on a chilly afternoon has the gloves on. David Akers set to kick off to Yaman Figures, and we're underway in Baltimore. The bouncing kick goes right through Figures into the end zone, where he downs it for a touchback. So the Ravens will start from the 20-yard line. And the rookie out of Delaware, Joe Flacco, starts at quarterback. Willis McGahee, LaRon McClain. We'll see a lot of Ray Rice. Derek Mason is the leading receiver. The top tight end is Todd Heap. We'll see Daniel Wilcox as well. The offensive line, Adam Terry starting in place of Jared Gaither. McClain and McGahee in the backfield as they split out. McClain and they motion McGahee. Empty backfield for Flacco on first down. Being rushed, and it passes off the hands of Todd Heap, incomplete. Good pressure from Jaquay Parker on the first down pass for the Eagles on defense, and they'll rotate a lot of men in. Trent Cole, outstanding pass rusher. The leading sack man is Darren Howard. The linebackers is a change. Hakeem Jordan starting for Omar Gaither. Asante Samuel is the best cover corner they have, and he has 3 interceptions on the season. On second down, Willis McGahee, short gain, maybe a yard before he's taken down. Led by Mike Patterson, the defensive tackle, number 98.
And both of those inside defensive tackles, Sam, Mike Patterson and Broderick Bunkley, are going to have a good game today. And we call it the inside triangle because the tip of that triangle is Stuart Bradley right behind him at middle linebacker. Baltimore loves to run the football. They need to run the football for the young quarterback, Joe Flacco. So that inside trio, the 2 defensive tackles and the middle linebacker, it's a must that they play well for Philadelphia.
But the Eagles have Flacco where they want him in 3rd and long, 3rd and 9, third wide receiver. Yaman Figures in, and Ray Rice out of the backfield. Pressure on Flacco. Gets rid of it. It's juggled and dropped. Intended for Derek Mason. The Eagles had it well covered. And that's an outstanding defensive series for the Eagles to start the game.
Well, and this takes time, so watch what happens. Watch Darren Howard come from behind and Biamiri from the front, and they just sandwich Joe Flacco. And he's going to take a lot of hits today, Sam, if they continue, as we saw there, to get him in the 3rd and long, 3rd and 6 plus. Jim Johnson will tee up that blitz, and that wasn't even a blitz. That was just the front 4 getting pressure. That pressure will be there all day.
Victor Biamiri with a big hit. And the punt by Sam Cook to Deshaun Jackson, avoids the first man and comes out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line. So the Eagles go on offense after a 15-yard return by Deshaun Jackson, 55-yard punt by Sam Cook. The Eagles start from their 39-yard line, and Donovan McNabb, who had a really tough day in Cincinnati, took a lot of heat all week long. Brian Westbrook is banged up. We'll see a lot of Correll Buckhalter. Westbrook didn't practice at all this week. Deshaun Jackson is the leading receiver. Brent Selleck is starting at tight end. And there is Brian Westbrook in the backfield as McNabb will work out of the shotgun on first down. 5 defensive backs in for the Ravens. Corey Ivy is the 5th DB. Westbrook takes the inside handoff, pushes the pile up to the 45-yard line, picks up about 6 on the play. Ryan Westbrook has had all kinds of injuries this year. Sore knee, bad ankle, broken rib.
Yeah.
For the Ravens, they have the 3-4 defense. The big man in the middle, Haloti Ngata. Ray Lewis leads the defense, but Bart Scott is outstanding. Fabian Washington, a lot of speed as the cornerback. And Ed Reed, the leader at safety. McNabb, plenty of time. Dumps it off to the fullback, Dan Klecko. The ball pops loose, but it looked like it rolled out of bounds. It's down, as you see the official pointing to the ground, but it's enough for a first down. Ray Lewis with the tackle.
Not surprised at all they've come out here and run the no huddle. And really, I mean, if you think about this defense and what they do, they get after it. They're a pressure-packed group, so you get those guys a little bit tired, and you make their ability to get personnel groupings in there limited by running the no huddle. This is smart by Andy Reid and his offense, and McNabb can handle it without a problem.
McNabb works out of the shotgun with Westbrook and Klecko in the backfield. Now he steps up and changes the play, and he calls timeout. Time was winding down on the play clock, just about to hit 0. No, he didn't get the timeout.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
One of the problems, I guess you could say, Tim, with the no huddle is sometimes you see something in the defense and it's tough to change the play at the last second.
And he's waiting to get that play in too from the sideline through the communication device. So that play's got to come in quicker so that he can make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage.
Curtis and Jackson are the wide receivers. On 1st and 15, the short drop out to Deshaun Jackson, and he's down at midfield and hit by Samari Roll as he went down. It'll be an interesting matchup throughout the day. Samari Roll, a veteran cornerback, against the rookie Deshaun Jackson. And again, the no huddle. And the Ravens passing their defensive signals up and down.
Yeah, they're trying to get the right substitution package in there with the personnel grouping, just like I talked about, the pressure of the no huddle.
McNabb under pressure, completes it to Kevin Curtis, and Curtis gets down to the 46-yard line. Early in the game, keep your eyes on these factors. Donovan McNabb, he struggles in the first quarters of games, 6 for 27 passing over the last 4 games in the first quarter. Ravens' run defense was gashed by the Giants last week for 207 yards, and the play selection last week, it was heavy pass for the Eagles. Here is 3rd and 8. Marcus Douglas in on the defensive line for the Ravens, number 91. Pressure on McNabb, they got him. Trevor Price was there. Jarrett Johnson was there, and McNabb is sacked. And the Ravens come out strong on defense.
Well, Trevor Price just runs the corner. The key is they got him in 3rd and long. So Trevor Price goes there. Here's Jarrett Johnson, comes up inside and then back to the outside. And they both get on Donovan McNabb and share the sack.
Sav Rocco had a tough day in Cincinnati. Problems with a win last week. Just gets this one away, but a good high punt. Jamon Figures watches it bounce. And let's see, where did it go out of bounds? It's a touchback.
Yeah, that hit the official who was standing in the end zone just behind the pylon.
52-yard punt. It nets 32. These are two men that are very close to one another. Andy Reid, the head coach who had John Harbaugh on his staff for 10 years. They have tremendous respect and friendship together. LaRon McClain, this is the heavy backfield for the Ravens. LaRon McClain running at tailback with Lorenzo Neal at fullback.
Well, and he's a load now. We all know about Lorenzo Neal, 16 years in the league as a fullback, but not a lot of people know about LaRon McClain. And watch right here, Trent Cole does a good job holding the point of attack on Todd Heat, but watch how LaRon McClain just runs right through the arm tackle. I mean, Trent Cole sticks his arm out there and thinking he's going to stop the 260-pound truck, and it's not going to work.
You got the 2 heavy backs and 2 tight ends in. And it's McClain again. Good pickup across the 40 to the 42. It's a first down. Sheldon Brown with a stop. But LaRon McClain with good back-to-back runs. This one was for 15 yards. Ravens started Willis McGahee. Now LaRon McClain in at the tailback, and Ray Rice you saw in the third down situations. They'll throw the screen pass to him a lot, use his speed. McClain and Lorenzo Neal in the backfield on first down. Todd Heath motions, again 2 tight ends. McClain cuts it back. And the Ravens running the ball well. Let's check out the Vikings and Jacksonville Jaguars. Go to Kurt Menefee.
All Vikings so far. Chester Taylor with a 3-yard run for a touchdown. Jacksonville is in a hole because they've touched the ball twice today. Both times fumbled it. Vikings taking advantage, including the first play from first snap from scrimmage, which was fumbled and returned for a touchdown. Easy for me to say. Sam?
Thank you, Kurt. First place tie, Green Bay, Chicago, and Minnesota. Important game for the Vikings. Packers play tomorrow night. Again, LaRon McClain to midfield and across. Very close to the first down line, just a little bit short. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short for the Ravens, who have gone to the run.
Broderick Bunkley's hurt out there, too.
Uh-oh. That is bad news. Third-year man out of Florida State, who has been so strong in the middle. We could see Trevor Laws come in. Broderick Bunkley limped off to the sideline, being checked out now. He's got a left leg injury. That's the rookie Trevor Laws, number 93, out of Notre Dame, who is in at defensive tackle. 3rd and 1 for the Ravens. LaRon McClain, and he is stopped. And that's the first time he has failed on a 3rd and 1 this season. He had been 7 for 7 on 3rd and 1 conversions. Great job up front by the Eagles.
Well, that's a huge stop, and they just stacked them up. And it's right where Broderick Bunkley came out from. And you saw right there, Trevor Laws got pushed back a little bit, but they creased down inside with Trent Cole, who got in on the play, and then Stuart Bradley finishing up, getting the push back. That is a big-time stop at midfield for the Philadelphia defense.
Sam Cook to punt to Deshaun Jackson, who's back inside his own 10. That goes toward the sideline, and a good job by Cook as he pins the Eagles back inside the 10-yard line. They spot it at the 8. Defense is ruling right now in this one. Brian Westbrook, banged up, didn't practice all week. He has had 1 carry thus far.
Look at the play selection from last week to this week, and it was bad last week. It's worse so far this week.
3 wide receivers for the Eagles, who start from the 8. And McNabb works out of the shotgun and hands off inside. Westbrook stopped. Haloti Ngata in on the play. Gain of about a yard.
And we showed that for a reason, because last week against Cincinnati, there was 58 passes to 18 runs. And even Andy Reid told us, we got to run the ball more. We should have run the ball more, and they'll need to in this game. Even though Baltimore's very good in run defense, John Runyon told us, and when we run, we got to run early with success, or Andy Reid very simply will not come back to the running game.
Pharrell Buckhalter in the backfield replaces Westbrook. 2 tight ends in. McNabb throws to L.J. Smith. He's wrapped up by Corey Ivy, who is in as a 5th defensive back. Got up to the 12-yard line. So while McNabb is hitting the passes, it's mostly short stuff so far.
Well, and that's one area where they haven't really gone deep. And Hank Baskett is the guy. Deshaun Jackson and Hank Baskett, I think, are the 2 guys in this game. If you're going to get this Ravens defense deep down the field, it's got to be those 2 guys right there that stretch them out.
Same thing, 2 tight ends. On 3rd and 6, McNabb throws way wide of Hank Baskett. There was some pressure up the middle, and it's 3 and out. And the Baltimore Ravens are tied with the Eagles for the most 3 and outs on defense.
Well, the quarterback and receiver clearly aren't on the same page here, because Baskett's running an in route, McNabb's throwing an out route. So clearly there was an adjustment there that the receiver or the quarterback didn't understand. And I think that Baskett probably should have broke off to the outside based on the corner's inside leverage. I think the quarterback was right there.
Good high punt by Sabraka at the 35. Yvonne Figures tried to belly back, and he was taken down. Strong coverage for the Eagles. Quentin Demp's down to make the tackle.
Eagles defensive tackle Broderick Bunkley injured on that last series, taken to the locker room. The trainer, team doctor, checking out his left knee. No official word, but he remains in the locker room. Sam Timpson, rookie Trevor Laws in at defensive tackle, part of that rotation.
And Victor Abiamirian now at defensive end. The Notre Dame connection at end and tackle. Ron McClain now the fullback. Willis McGahee looking for an opening. Not much there as the Eagles stack him up. After a gain of about a yard and a half, Chris Gokon, number 57, with the tackle.
And if Baltimore sees this, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 guys in the box. You got 2 deep safeties. Baltimore's going to run at it all day long. They got a tight end and 2 backs. And that's just a good job by Philly with only 7 guys in the box and showing it and being able to stop the run. If they can do that today and have a steady diet of it, it'll be big.
Last 6 plays have been running plays for the Ravens. Flacco, short drop, throws, completes to Derek Mason at the 45-yard line. That's a first down. Asante Samuel covering Derek Mason. That'll be a key matchup.
This is a great example of the arm strength. Asante Samuel shaking up there of Joe Flacco. And watch this. This is just a stop route, a deep stop route. And Asante Samuel's got great ability to burst and drive on the ball, but corners can't get there soon enough. And when you look at that, that's about the quarterback's arm strength. That ball's got so much velocity that it gets there before the corners can.
2 tight ends in. McGahee stopped in the backfield by Hakeem Jordan. Jordan getting the start today in place of Omar Gaither. That's one of the changes that Andy Reid made as far as trying to make some moves to shake up personnel and using Jordan's speed. And Jordan, you saw him get in on that play. Well, that's Asante Samuel on the sideline being checked out by the medical staff. As he's hurting after
that'll be a big loss if they lose him, because he is clearly their best corner. He's the best corner on the football field today.
Also 2 on that previous play. Flacco rolling, looking, wants to go deep. Nobody open. Now he throws sideline and threw it away. There's a flag on the play in the backfield. Referee Walt Anderson, 13-year veteran, will tell us.
Number 78, offense. 10-yard penalty. It's still second down.
That's on Adam Terry, who's starting at left tackle in place of Jared Gaither. Gaither is dressed but not playing.
Watch Derek Mason right here and how he can get open. I mean, he is so intelligent in how he looks and shows his routes. And he's a guy that you talk about knowing where to sit down, and that, I mean, Flacco had really nowhere to go right there in terms of once the play started to break down and he had to scramble. But Derek Mason, to me, just looks like he's getting better. The guy's 34 years old and still looks like he's on the upside, believe it or not.
On 2nd and 22, Flacco under pressure throws, and it's off the hands of Ray Rice. It'll bring up a 3rd and very long for the Ravens. Trent Cole with good pressure on Joe Flacco.
This is a matchup we have to watch all day right there. The left tackle Adam Terry versus Trent Cole, who's one of the better rushers in the league. And look at that hand placement, how he gets the hands down, can turn the corner. They call him, when you look at him, the coach I know calls him a roll. What did he call him? A rolling ball of butcher knives is what he said. He said if you don't stop that roll, you're going to get cut up every time, and he is. That guy's motor is tremendous. Trent Cole.
Ravens have to get to the Eagles 46 for a first down. Flacco has time, goes short to Ray Rice out of the backfield, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line. Combination of Hakeem Jordan and Stuart Bradley.
That's why Hakeem Jordan is starting today for Omar Gaither. For that matchup right there, to be able to tackle Ray Rice in space. It's exactly what they told us last night. They said his speed is a big asset, in particular his ability to cover when Ray Rice gets on the field. And they use Ray Rice so much, they figure starting Hakeem Jordan today over Omar Gaither would be a better matchup.
Sam Cook with a good high punt backing up. As Deshaun Jackson lets it bounce. And he rolls into the end zone for a touchback. 60-yard punt, it nets 40. No score as the defenses continue to dominate. Donovan McNabb hasn't tried to overextend himself thus far. The pass has been mostly short, 4 for 5, 17 yards. But neither offense has gotten anything rolling thus far. Deep drop by McNabb with time. Dan Klecko, the fullback, with his second catch of the day and his second first down up to the 32-yard line. Pickup of 12. Bart Scott shoved him out.
And there's no doubt that McNabb has struggled with consistency over the last 4 or 5 games, in particularly not starting fast. And he said this week it was really back to the basics, back to the fundamentals, block out all the outside forces. That's nothing new to him with all the public criticism. And just get back to the mechanics. And a lot of times that means maybe taking heat off the fastball and just throwing the ball slower.
Corral Buckhalter straight ahead and up close to the 40-yard line. As they rotate Buckhalter and Westbrook, good push on the offensive line.
I think we'll see more of Corral Buckhalter today. Andy Reid told us that they made really a point of emphasis to get him more looks in practice, to get him more carries today. And I mean, when you think about it, 13 carries over the last 4 games, not enough for Corral Buckhalter when you keep in mind the injuries to Brian Westbrook.
McNabb changes the play. 2 tight ends in, both for the right side. On second and short, Buckhalter finds the opening. Broke a tackle, and Reed stands him up. But it's a first down up at the 47. Let's check out the Dolphins and the Patriots. What's happening, Kurt Benefee?
Well, no Wildcat this time. It's just Chad Pennington off the play fake and finding an open Greg Camarillo. Regardless of how they do it, the Dolphins have a lead over the Patriots 7-3 in the first quarter. Back to Baltimore and Sam, Tim, and Chris.
Thanks very much, Kurt. Dolphins and Patriots both chasing the Jets, who are leading in Tennessee. And off inside to Westbrook. Short pickup. 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards, up to the 49-yard line.
They'll tell you that Jared Johnson, who's coming from the top of your screen here, Rex Ryan says he sets the edge as good as anybody in the league. And that means turning everything back inside and being a force player on the outside. And with all the big names, and there's Rex Ryan there, with all the big names on this defense, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Bart Scott, all those guys, he said if there's an unsung hero, it's number 95. Jared Johnson, who's playing well.
And of course, Rex Ryan, the son of former Eagles coach Buddy Ryan. McNabb hooks up a first down to the 36-yard line with Jason Avant. Good throw by Donovan McNabb. He rifled that one in. Eagles have 6 wide receivers dressed for the game, and they use them all. Jason Avant with a 15-yard pickup.
And here he is coming right here, and he's just going to come inside and get on the inside of the corner and get behind Ray Lewis. You see the velocity that McNabb, when he needs to zip it now, he can laser the football.
Westbrook and Klecko in the backfield. Westbrook push up front. Westbrook falls forward to the 32-yard line. He picks up 4 on the play. We've come to the end of the first quarter. The defenses have been the dominant factor thus far, but the Eagles are starting to move the ball. No score, end of the first quarter. Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers in Baltimore as we start the second quarter. The Eagles with a 2nd and 6 at the Ravens 32-yard line. McNabb out of the shotgun with Westbrook in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in. Everybody out. McNabb in trouble. Steps up and throws it away. Rolled out of the pocket and threw it out of bounds.
And you know Rex Ryan will do a lot of different things. Look at this package. You got Trevor Price on the nose. You got a linebacker, Jared Johnson. Really, they call him a linebacker, but I think he's a defensive end, and Terrell Suggs. But they took both of their defensive tackles off the field there with Haloti Ngata and Justin Bannon, and just left all pass rushers out there on the 2nd and 6.
Johnson, number 95, lining up on 3rd and 6. Everybody out. McNabb throws. The ball juggled and held by Hank Baskett. And he's got a first down at the 24-yard line.
Well, and this is just perfectly executed by the offense because Rex Ryan has a blitz dialed up. Boom, boom, boom. And then watch here from the outside. You'll see the square in route by Baskett right behind it. The umpire had to duck. I mean, that's just good recognition by McNabb and by the receiver, realizing what blitz was coming and how to beat it.
McNabb 7 for 9, 52 yards. Eagles first down at the 24. Westbrook in the backfield. Everybody out. McNabb pressured. Ball knocked away and taken away by Jared Johnson. Johnson is chased out of bounds. What a play by Jared Johnson. Knocked the ball out of McNabb's hands and took it out of the air.
What a momentum changer. He's just going to run around Trey Thomas and then swat right there with the left hand. And I believe it doesn't matter. I mean, he got the ball out whether the arm was coming forward or not, and that just ends up being an interception.
What a play by Jared Johnson, who came into the league as a defensive tackle. Now they're working him at linebacker, and he's been outstanding.
Well, I said it earlier. He's the unsung hero of this defense. The guy is all football player all the time.
Sack and fumble is the ruling. Ray Rice. A lot of quickness by the rookie out of Rutgers. Second-round draft pick. Carries down to the 40, inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, either way, I mean, that turnover clearly stands. If the ball's knocked out before the arm's coming forward, it's a fumble. If it's knocked out after the arm was coming forward, it would have been an interception. So clearly the right call was batted out while the arm was still cocked backwards. Sack, forced fumble, fumble recovery, all in one play. Big production.
Oh, nice play. 2nd and 1 for the Ravens. And the fullback carries Lorenzo Neal. First down to the 35-yard line. Big push up front by the offensive line. We go down to our offensive lineman, Chris Myers.
Playing more than medics, Sam. Physical game on the Eagles sideline. Correll Buckhalter, they checked his right knee, lower leg. They had to cut off his tape. They put a type of wrap. They hope he'll be back in. He was not in on that last drive for the Eagles. On defense, Asante Samuel with a neck and arm injury. He's back out on the field. The medic came over to help him out. The trainer, and Broderick Bunkley will return even though he has a left knee. So physical and bruising so far for the Eagles.
Thanks, Chris. Play fake. Flacco wanted to go deep. Nobody open. Rolls, and finally throws it away. Well, Joe Flacco had all day, but nobody came open. So great coverage on the part of the Eagles. And Flacco winds up throwing it away, bringing up a 2nd and 10.
Well, Derek Mason, here he is here. Always his #1 read. And Asante Samuel, and now the scramble drill's on, because Asante Samuel took that corner route away first, and that wasn't there. And when that wasn't there, that's where you'll see Joe Flacco needing to grow, get to his 2nd and 3rd reads. And I think that time he saw that his corner route was covered up by Asante Samuel to Derek Mason, and then he just got outside of the pocket and ended up throwing it away.
Ron McClain splits out. Flacco deep drop, wants to throw the screen. It was tipped and falls incomplete. Wanted a tight end screen to Todd Heap. And again, the Eagles do a good job. Big Joe Flacco is a guy who grew up in the not far from here in the New Jersey area. And, his friends and family, a lot of them root for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Tickets. He's got 40 people here today to watch this game.
Went to Pittsburgh, but wasn't going to be the starter there. So he said to Dave once that I'm out of here, and he went to Delaware. And his dad likes to sit upstairs where he can get a better view of the game. That's the Flacco
And Joe
family.
loves it because the tickets are cheaper up there, Sam.
6 defensive backs in for the Eagles. And they stop the play.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
And there's Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator, and this is right where he wants Baltimore's offense. 3rd and long. I mean, you say 6+ is long in this league, and it really is. I mean, it's 3rd and 15 right here. And I'll be surprised if he really dials up the blitz here because it is 3rd and so long. But to keep him out of field goal range, he just may do it. And when you think about his defenses against rookie quarterbacks, they overheat him. Every time he goes against a rookie quarterback, he turns up the heat with the pass rush.
McClain and Rice in the backfield.
They
Eagles
don't
show blitz, but they come with 4. Flacco throws too high. Intended for Todd Heap, thrown a little behind him. Flacco is only 2 for 8 to start the game. So after the turnover and good field position, The Ravens unable to take advantage.
And 3rd and 15, I mean 3rd and extra long, he calls the blitz off there. Look at what Jim Johnson has done to rookie quarterbacks. 9-3. We had him earlier in the year against Matt Ryan, and the pressure packages were coming all day long. Average QB rating under 65. Makes it hard on those young QBs.
Sam Cook with a punt. Fair catch called for by Deshaun Jackson at the 8-yard line. Eagles have not had good field position. They've had one good drive, but that got stalled by a turnover. I'm ready for Thanksgiving right now. Look at that. Turkey, ribs, stuffing. You can't get any better than that. What a week. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. As the Eagles start from the 8-yard line. Westbrook cuts it back. Not much there. Good job up front by the Ravens. Terrell Suggs was there with Ray Lewis. And Haloti Ngata in his 3rd year with the Ravens, and it seems as if each year he adds something and gets better, Tim.
Well, he's as good as any D tackle in the league. He really is when you watch the tape. I mean, he is so strong. For a guy 340, 345 pounds, the way he moves is really remarkable. You saw there on that inside run. I mean, you're just usually not going to move him out of his gap. You try to run inside, 92 is going to stop him.
Basket motions, play fake by McNabb on 2nd and 8, steps up, starts to run, and goes down at the 17-yard line. Terrell Suggs takes him down, close to the 1st down.
And watch what he does here on this play, 92. I mean, when you don't get pass rush, and he doesn't there as he's on the line of scrimmage, he takes the screen away, which was real bright. I mean, Westbrook is such a weapon, and that's the intelligence of Haloti Ngata. And I know he's been coached like that by his D-line coach, Clarence Brooks. Listen, if you see Brian Westbrook coming out of the backfield, get in his way because he's such a weapon in the pass game. Good heads-up play by Ngata.
3rd and less than a yard for the Eagles. McNabb off the play fake, gets time and throws it deep for Deshaun Jackson. Intercepted by Fabian Washington. And he is brought down at the Eagles' 43-yard line. Terrific pick by Fabian Washington, taking it away from Deshaun Jackson. 2nd turnover by Donovan McNabb.
And another 3rd and short, and Philadelphia chooses to throw the ball. What a great pick by Fabian Washington. Sam, here's the interception by Fabian Washington, and it's just an out-and-up route by Deshaun Jackson, and it's really a pretty good throw, but he's got to get more Donovan McNabb out of his wide receiver. I mean, the throw wasn't bad. It was good coverage and probably shouldn't have thrown it, but at the same time, Deshaun Jackson coming underneath trying to make a play. That ball just went right by his hands and allowed Fabian Washington, who was playing the upfield shoulder because of the adjustment by the receiver, to pick it off. I mean, if you're not going to catch it, you got to play some defense and at least get your hands on the football if you're that wide receiver.
First interception of the season for Fabian Washington. He had one last season with Oakland and 4 the season before. Broderick Bunkley is back in at defensive tackle for the Eagles. The Ravens start from the Eagles' 43. Ron McClain shifts. Ray Rice. Oh, he's stopped immediately. Mike Patterson. What penetration. Boy, did he get off the ball. Time to update the 49ers and the Cowboys and go back to Kurt.
Got inside the Dallas 5 twice, settled for 2 field goals, and the Cowboys erased that deficit in 1 play. Tony Romo hooking up with T.O. 75-yard score. Longest touchdown pass of Romo's career, and I guess the Cowboys showing a little flexibility, if you will. They lead at 7-6, Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. Cowboys need that win badly. 3 games behind the Giants in the NFC East. Flacco dropping back, and he's sacked. Chris Gokong was there, and Victor Abiamiri leading the way. Abiamiri getting more playing time since he's gotten healthy, and he is putting on some good pressure. Gokong was there as well.
Well, they combo off of Big Willie Anderson here. He's going to take it inside. Gokong going to end up on the back, going to the outside. And both of them converge at the same time on Joe Flacco. Actually, that's going to go to Abiamiri as a full sack because he got there and got his hands on the quarterback first.
First sack of the season for Victor Abiamiri. timeout called as Joe Flacco comes to the sideline to talk things over.
The Eagles' Victor Abiamiri from Baltimore. Gilmore High School has 20 friends and family watching. Of course, went on to Notre Dame. Said he was teased as an athlete for being such a brainiac, a smart kid. He said in Jim Johnson's defense, it's so complex. Sam, Tim, you have to be a student of the game.
Thanks, Chris. Ravens have to get to the Eagles 33 for first down. Flacco being chased by Trent Cole. He's got him by the ankle, and he throws the ball away. And let's see if that's ruled a sack.
I think it is going to be in the grasp. I believe that.
So another sack for Trent Cole, second sack for the Eagles. Abiamiri became the 15th different Philadelphia Eagle to get a sack this season.
Watch the motor of Trent Cole here, 58. I mean, there's the chip as he gets hit by Ray Rice. There's the other. Yeah, 3 guys hitting him on that play. They can't get him off his feet. And that motor that's cooking at about 5,000 RPMs for 60 minutes doesn't stop and gets himself a sack.
5th punt of the game for Sam Cook, a short one that takes a bounce in favor of the Eagles and is downed at about the 44-yard line. So the Eagles will finally get some good field position to start offensively. Right now, the defenses continue to control the game.
Sam, we said it in the open at the start of the game. Both defenses are going to play well, and they have. So which quarterback shows up to make plays? Well, Flacco has really struggled because of the pressure. McNabb has made some more plays, but has made more mistakes. Has the interception and the fumble. So far, the defenses have gotten it done.
Best starting field position, and McNabb goes deep on first down and overthrows Greg Lewis. And McNabb really aired that one out. That ball was close to 60 yards in the air, but incomplete. Still, I go back to that play, the long pass, and the play calling of Andy Reid and or Marty Mornhinweg, and on the 3rd and 1, they refused to run the ball.
We saw it last week. I mean, they had a few of those against Cincinnati. And think about this, 18 third down opportunities last week against Cincinnati. All 18 plays were passes.
There's 2nd and 10, 2 tight ends in. Selleck and L.J. Smith, and Westbrook never got started. But Trevor Price takes him down for a loss. Last week, 3rd and 1.
Pass.
Up in the air. Incomplete. Another one. Up in the air. Batted away. Incomplete. 3rd and 1. Pass batted down. And today, 3rd and 1, he throws long. Interception.
There's Marty Mornhinweg and the OC, and of course Andy Reid, the head coach. I think part of it is really not having an inline blocker at tight end.
3rd and 14. McNabb throws too high. Intended for Kevin Curtis, and it's 3 and out for the Eagles, who had their best starting field position of the game, but unable to move the football.
I think this is one of those where McNabb just lets that ball out with so much velocity that thing just sails high on him. We've seen that a lot this year. And Baltimore came with an inside blitz. Again, had the square into Kevin Curtis behind it and just let the ball sail.
Zabraka gets time. Good high punt. Yaman Figures at the 14. On the return, slipped one man, and then he is wrestled down by Sean Considine. Eagles 5 possessions. 3 punts, 1 fumble, 1 interception. Close relationship between these two men, John Harbaugh and Andy Reid. John Harbaugh worked very closely with his head coach as special teams coordinator, and the Eagles' special teams always were exceptional. And then last year, John Harbaugh went to Andy Reid and said, I'd like to do more, and he made him the secondary coach, and he interviewed for the UCLA job, and then interviewed for the Ravens job, and got the Ravens job.
Well, I think John felt like he was getting trapped into that special teams box. And, you know, a lot of special teams coaches in this league, they start as special teams coaches, and Sam, they finish as special teams coaches. They're usually lifers, so getting to be a DB coach certainly helped him get this big head coaching job.
Heavy backfield for the Ravens as LaRon McClain carries up across the 20. We go down to the sideline to Chris Myers.
Well, Sam, I was around Coach Harbaugh before the game. It was almost as if he spent more time with Eagle players and former Eagle coaches of his, friends of his, than his own team. Donovan McNabb said, hey, even when he was the special teams coach, he would come sit in quarterback and offensive meetings. And David Akers, the kicker, of course, who he worked with for so long, said it only stands to reason. He coached offensive and defensive players on special teams. I even made a call to Louisville to recommend him for the coaching job there. He's a perfect fit for our team in Baltimore as he was in Philadelphia.
Thanks, Chris. You're right about that. A good guy and a good coach, and he's done a good job as a rookie head coach. That was LaRon McClain carrying again. Juquay Parker took him down.
Love LaRon McClain, and I think they do here in Baltimore as well. I mean, the guy is a fullback, but really runs the football at times like a tailback. And I know coming out of Alabama, he was almost 5 yards a crack at running the football, and he's had a lot of opportunity this year, and this is what they call their big package. He's hard to stop.
With Lorenzo Neal, the fullback, LaRon McClain motions, 2 tight ends in. He's carried 7 times as McClain for 41 yards. Flacco rolling again. Chased by Parker, who forced him out of bounds up at the 33-yard line. The Baltimore offense has really improved from last year to this year, and they have fought for respect from the defense, and they're getting it. The scoring is up, giveaways are down, time of possession best in the league, third down conversions are up, and red zone conversions into touchdowns is up over 50%.
There's no doubt, and it links up with the defense. And you'll see the defensive numbers have improved as well because of what they're able to do on offense.
Thought he shifted. LaRon McClain looking for an opening. Gets up to the 35-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Ravens.
You watch this offensive line on tape, and I'll tell you, they are very well coached. You got Jared Gaither back out there now. They're starting left tackle. He's got a shoulder injury. Didn't practice all week at all. But these guys are well coached. I mean, they really are. And I think John Matsko does a terrific job with them. Jason Brown is an underrated center. I think Ben Grubbs, the left guard, and there's John Matsko right there, one of the more underrated line coaches in the league. Ben Grubbs, left guard, going to be a very good player. Jared Gaither, big upside for him.
3rd and 2. Ray Rice in the backfield. The pass almost intercepted. Intended for Yamon Figures and dropped by Stuart Bradley. He had it in his hands.
That's good work by Yamon Figures playing defense. That's what you call a pass breakup by the wide receiver, because Flacco throws this, and you're going to look right down the pipe here, throws it right to Stuart Bradley. Bradley's got it. Figures comes up over the top and bats the football out.
6th punt of the game for Sam Cook. He is working overtime, double time. And Cook with a good high kick. Deshaun Jackson at the 15. Takes it back. Flag on the play. And he slipped up as he tried another cut. More flags come in. There are 4 flags on the field. And we will check it all out. 50-yard punt by Cook, a 13-yard return. John Harbaugh works the officials.
I think the first one's going to be on Jocelio Hansen, 21. And I think the second one could be on Greg Lewis. But the one that was thrown on about the 30-yard line, I believe, was on Jocelio Hansen.
Andy Reid looks on as Walt Anderson will tell us what happened.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 83, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah,
So
this
all
is
those
the second
flags
one.
for one play.
Well, that one was, see, that was called way late because Yamon Figures, I was watching that from up here, and that flag didn't come out till about right there. I think the official made his mind up to throw it on Greg Lewis, who was hitting the gunner running down the sideline.
Here's what the Eagles have done. They've had one good drive, a 9-play drive, and that ended when Donovan McNabb had the ball knocked out of his hands by Jarrett Johnson. Now the Eagles start from the 10. 3 wide receivers. Hank Baskett is the third one. Westbrook carrying. couple of yards on the play. Correll Buckhalter went to the locker room to have an injury checked out, is back on the sideline.
Well, and that will stress the backfield because of what Philadelphia has active today. Lorenzo Booker is deactivated, the number 3 running back. So, you know, and Westbrook is not a picture of health right now. So Buckhalter really, hopefully for these Eagles, can keep himself getting back into the football game.
He's got the helmet on, looks like he's ready to go. Jason Avantin is a 3rd wide receiver. On 2nd and 8. McNabb under pressure, throws deep, and it's incomplete, intended for Reggie Brown. And we go downstairs to Chris Myers for another medical report.
And it looks like Buckhalter will be available to return. They checked his right knee. He went in to the locker room. They put special padding or a special, I don't want to call it a brace, a type of wrap. He is available to be used. And Marty Morningwig said in pregame warm-ups, we plan to use Correll Buckhalter quite a bit today. He is available to return, just won't be 100%.
Thanks, Chris. Crowd loud down at where the Eagles are. 3rd and long, 4 wide receivers in.
Here comes the blitz.
McNabb gets time. The pass was tipped and dropped. Samari Roll almost had an interception. The pass was tipped as it came out. And Donovan McNabb has struggled. His last 5 incomplete.
Well, and here it comes right here. It's the safety right there, Ed Reed, who comes on a delayed blitz. You can see, boy, he's got some hops, doesn't he?
He played some basketball.
Whoa. Got up, got his hand on that ball. Philly very fortunate it wasn't picked.
Sav Rocca's 4th punt. Yaman Figures at the 44. He's got room to return. Considine shoves him out of bounds at the 37-yard line. There is a flag on the play. Back near the line of scrimmage. Yaman Figures, who had 1 return for a touchdown last season.
Prior to the kick, tripping number 46 of the kicking team. By rule, that 10-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the run. 1st down.
That's on the long snapper, John Dornbos, and that hurts the Eagles as the Ravens are going to get tremendous field position. Well, John Harbaugh, we've talked about his success in his first year as a head coach in the NFL, but how about these other first-year coaches? Mike Smith in Atlanta, his team 6-4. Jim Zorn in Washington, they're 6-4. And Tony Sperano in Miami, turning things around from 1-15 last year, they're 6-4.
Here's the common denominator with all these coaches. They were all longtime assistants in the National Football League. And they know this league, and I think that's been a big advantage for all 4 of them.
Ravens start from the Eagles 28. Keep motions. Willis McGahee stopped for a loss. Boy, the Eagles defense and the Ravens defense really in quite a battle. Trevor Laws, the rookie, who's playing, rotating in with Broderick Bunkley, made the tackle.
Yeah, and here's Laws, and then here's Darren Howard, who's playing a little bit defensive end. You don't see a lot of that. Watch it. They got a slant going inside, so Trevor Laws slants inside. Darren Howard shoots up the field. It was Laws' slant inside that forced the back to bubble out just a little bit, and Darren Howard coming free cleans it up.
2nd and 12. Heat motions. 2 tight ends in. McGahee cutting it back. It's down close to the 25-yard line. We'll spot it at the 26.
You know, Darren Howard is a guy who has really not only changed his body, but has had to change his whole game because he's playing defensive end right now, but most of his reps are now coming as a pass rusher in their nickel package at defensive tackle. He is under this. He's about 258. A lot of people did not think he was going to make this team this year. You go back the last 2 seasons, the guy was 290 pounds. He's lost 30, 35 pounds and has recaptured his game.
3rd and 8. Ray Rice in the backfield. Heat motions. Short drop by Flacco. Puts it up. A lot of air underneath, and it's incomplete. Out of bounds. Good effort by Mark Clayton. But the pass was caught out of bounds.
Well, Chris Clemens should not have left his feet here, or he had a big sack that maybe takes him out of field goal range. Watch 91 coming from the left end. See how he got up and went for that little pump fake and really slowed his momentum down to the quarterback. If he would have just stayed on the line and kept his feet running, he'd either had a sack or would have certainly knocked the football out or got there before Flacco could unload.
Matt Stover will attempt a 44-yard field goal. And the kick on the way, and the first points of the game are on the board. With 3 minutes to go in the first half, Stover with a 44-yarder gives the Ravens a 3-0 lead. So they take advantage of good field position. Well, Thursday is holiday day, family day, and part of the tradition is football, and we've got great football for you with Seattle at Dallas. It all begins with a pregame show at 4, and then on to Dallas, where Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Pam Oliver will bring you the Seahawks and the Cowboys. Hope you enjoy it. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Donovan McNabb, he'll be playing Thursday night.
That's right.
Because the Eagles will be home against the Arizona Cardinals. This is a crucial week for the Eagles in their hopes, in their race for the playoffs.
Definitely. And boy, Arizona's got a huge game later today against the New York Giants. Yep. That should be a really good one. And that'll be on Fox here. You know, these next 4 or 5 days for the Philadelphia Eagles are going to really define their season, if you think about it. Well,
you know, they got on the winning streak. You talked about the players-only meeting that they had before the San Francisco game, then wins against San Francisco, Atlanta, and Seattle, but then the loss to the Giants, and then last week a disappointing tie in Cincinnati really set them back. On the return, Quentin Demps cuts it back, spins away, and an excellent return by Demps up to the 35-yard line. Brendan Ayanbadejo with the tackle. The run defense for the Baltimore Ravens, which was the best in the league going into last week's game against the Giants, was ripped apart for 207 yards. Brandon Jacobs in the first half, Ahmad Bradshaw in the second half. Giants won the game 30-10, and now the Ravens defense has answered back with a strong showing here in the
Well, they've responded so far, and Rex Ryan, the defensive coordinator, said they would. He said he was embarrassed. His players were embarrassed by that performance, and they felt the sting of it all week.
Westbrook and Buckhalter together in the backfield. McNabb wants to put it up, gets time, and throws, and it's intercepted by Ed Reed. Reed down the sideline, cuts back. Hit by McNabb, he bounces off and goes inside the 10. And a flag on the play. He's down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, that's a bad throw. I mean, that's all there is to it. McNabb had all day to throw the football. I mean, he's just standing back here surveying. Now watch how this ball goes behind Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson was out in front of Ed Reed there. That ball was 3-4 yards behind him, which allowed Ed Reed to make the break and get the interception.
Wow. So the Ravens' second interception of the game, third turnover by Donovan McNabb, who had 4 turnovers last week.
I think they're trying to figure out if this was a forward lateral. Yeah, that's unacceptable. And Donovan said, I mean, he said it yesterday. We need a breakout game. I've got to play better. There's no question. You know, the first interception could have been better played by his receiver, Deshaun Jackson, playing a little defense, but that one, there's no excuse. I mean, that's just a bad throw behind the out route to his wideout.
Talking about 7 interceptions.
There are fouls by both teams. After the interception, illegal forward pass, throwing the ball forward, number 20 of the defense. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, offense. By rule, those fouls will all set at the spot of the defense's foul, first down.
The Ravens get the ball in great field position.
Now here's the end of the play here. There's Ed Reed, who throws the illegal forward pass to Samari Rolle. And then I couldn't see where the late hit came in.
But Reed with the...
Boy, this defense has really responded today, haven't they? 3 turnovers in the first half of this game.
Second interception for Ed Reed this season. 17 interceptions for the Ravens defense. And now Walt Anderson explaining the call and the ruling on the field to Andy Reid. The Ravens defense against the run.
No, they've been terrific today. I mean,
third down, 2 sacks, 3 takeaways. You can't ask for better.
And again, talking about the embarrassment of last week against the New York Giants. Rex Ryan said he's been a coach 25 and a half years. Never has his defenses that he's been part of given up over 200 yards rushing. And the Giants last week had 207 on the ground.
Now Donovan McNabb, who had struggled in first quarters, is struggling in the second quarter. He's 0 for his last 6 with 2 interceptions. And over the last 4 games, he's thrown 7 interceptions. This is something where you shake your head in amazement. And you know he's just churning inside. Took a lot of heat all week long from the media in Philadelphia, all over. And now the Ravens at the 5-yard line with McGahee and Neal in the backfield. McGahee down to the 3-yard line. Good push by the offensive line. Jared Gaither, who didn't practice all week and was thought that he would be inactive, is back in. And as you look at Donovan McNabb.
Did you read his lips right there?
Gaither.
That's my fault. Did you read his lips right there?
He's thrown a couple of bad ones. We come down to the 2-minute warning with the Ravens leading 3-0. Their defense leading the way, giving their offense a chance to put points on the board. And McNabb having problems. The Ravens didn't turn the ball over. That's not their defense. That's Haloti Nada on offense. He's eligible. 2nd and goal for the Ravens. Lorenzo Neal motions. McGahee with the run. McClain carrying down to the 1-yard line. Well, that's a big load on that field. That was McGahee, my apologies, who carried the ball. Timeout on the field. It's 3rd and goal coming up. A lot of pressure on the defense of the Eagles.
There's no
here.
question. There has been in this whole first half with the 3 turnovers, and then of course the penalty after the punt return, which also put their backs against the wall. If they can somehow stop them here on this 3rd down and survive those turnovers and only giving up 6 points, that really is a victory for their defense, who has really played good today. I mean, you look at Baltimore in this game, they don't even have 60 yards of total offense. This game has been controlled by the defenses on both sides. Difference is Baltimore has forced 3 turnovers.
Nada is eligible on the left side. 3rd and goal just inside the 2. The play fake. Flacco rolling, throwing, and it is caught by Daniel Wilcox, the tight end. What a grab! Ninth touchdown pass of the season thrown by Joe Flacco. 2nd touchdown reception by the tight end, Daniel Wilcox.
Boy, what a catch. And you can tell he's got wide receiver in him. This is a high ball, and watch him go up with the left hand, pull it down, and then capture it with both. Tiptoe that right foot, keep both in bounds. He just really runs a leverage route. I mean, he just pivoted inside on Considine. Considine was playing inside leverage. He took it back to the outside. Look at him get his feet in. Just a terrific one-hander to go up and get it and pull it down and keep his feet in bounds.
Now this, in the last 2 minutes, we have booth review, and Walt Anderson is going over to check this play out again, presumably to make sure he got both feet down in bounds. John Harbaugh doesn't understand it. Andy Reid would love to find a way to take those points off the board. But Flacco had missed his last 5 passes until that toss to Daniel Wilcox. The Ravens defense has been outstanding here in the first half.
Here's Wilcox here. Here's the guy covering him, Considine. He's going to get over and then he's going to stick it right to the outside. Bam! Shows a block, forces Considine to take him on the inside. Considine was reading some run, and then he just wheels to space and takes it to an out route. And then again, here's what the official is looking at. One hand.
He hasn't
he pulls
controlled
it down.
yet.
Does he have control? Right
now,
there. One foot down, 2 feet down, right there. That's a touchdown.
Should be good, provided that toe wasn't on the line. It didn't. It's a tough angle, but it was called a touchdown on the field.
And they're glad to have him back. I mean, Wilcox has been out with a leg injury.
Gives them some versatility at tight end.
And the guy came into this league as a wide receiver, so. And you could see his skills right there as a guy who's used to catching the football.
And Todd Heap, on the other hand, has been used a lot for blocking to protect Joe Flacco.
Yeah, very interesting how they've used Todd Heap this year.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
So the Ravens defense has done a great job setting up the offense. And here Joe Flacco cashes in with a touchdown pass to Daniel Wilcox. Points off takeaways, second in the league are the Baltimore Ravens. Matt Stover with the extra point, and flags go down to stop the try.
Before the snap, false start, number 94, offense, 5-yard penalty, retry.
Justin Bannon, the defensive lineman, in for blocking on the extra point try as the man called. So now the extra point comes from the 15-yard line for Matt Stover, who has made 372 consecutive point afters. And this is 373, an NFL record. He hasn't missed since October of 1996. Quite a career for the veteran kicker, Matt Stover. Check of the AFC playoff picture. Tennessee Titans 10-0, but they're trailing the Jets late in the first half. Pittsburgh leads the AFC North. They're 8-3. The Ravens need a win to stay one game behind them, or to get back to one game behind. The Jets leading the AFC East, and the Denver Broncos the AFC West.
Can we just say this, Sam, please?
Go ahead.
I mean, with all the football that's left,
so you're giving
all of this stuff is still alive. I mean, this is the team that you got to think is in the Tennessee Titans at 10-0 and the lead they've got in their division. But I mean, we're only in week 12. There is a lot of football left as guys are going to be jockeying here for position.
Well, both these teams hoping for wins today to keep themselves in strong playoff contention. But right now the Eagles have to find a way as they are 10 points down. The kickoff coming down to Quentin Demps at the goal line. Demps with speed, breaks through. He's got a chance to go all the way. No flags down. It's a touchdown for Quentin Demps, 100 yards. First kickoff return for a touchdown ever for Quentin Demps.
Boy, did they need this. And watch Demps. I mean, there is no sideway. It is straight up the pipe, and he never, ever diverts from that north and south angle until he gets to the kicker.
Well, the Eagles needed something, and Demps delivers. What a return. I mean, he just blew through them.
Well, they love him, too. 4th-round pick out of Utah.
David Akers' extra point is good, and that changes the complexion of the game.
They absolutely needed that. And you know that kills John Harbaugh, being the former special teams coach and the special teams head that he is, to give one up, a big one on kickoff coverage.
First one for the Eagles since 2001. When John Harbaugh was the special teams coach, you'd go, what's that all about?
Did you see that look on his face?
Wow.
Oh.
He knows the feeling of the other side. A man who prides himself on special teams.
Well, and they had been good all year. I mean, you do go through the first 10 games this season, they had been good in their kickoff coverage.
So now the Eagles get a big lift. They are back within 3.
It's amazing how both defenses have played. It really is. I mean, there's not even 150 yards of total offense in this game between the two teams.
Well, neither quarterback has been particularly sharp of late. McNabb started early with short stuff, but he's 7 for 15, and Flacco is 3 for 11. And there's the total yards in the first half. The Eagles had one good drive.
Well, the turnovers are the turnovers on Baltimore's side on their defense, knocking it out 3 times, and then what we saw right there, the massive kickoff return for a touchdown for Philadelphia.
Akers kicks it off. And Yamon Figures from the 2. And Figures gets up across the 20 to the 23. Let's find out what Dr. Myers is doing. You have another medical report?
No, this time we're going to talk about Ed Reed, well, playing in pain, and of course a neck injury. You know, Sam, a guy who hits people for a living but has that fear with a neck injury that it could cause him further injury, and he's been playing with that. I was talking to Mark Carrier, defensive backs coach, secondary coach for the Ravens in pregame warmups, and he said, look, he knows that he's got to go full scale out there, but we need him out there to play. He had the interception, of course, that led to the Ravens score, and in the pregame warmup there was music playing, and Ed Reed was dancing with Ray Lewis, and that's how he said, see, he's flexible, he's ready to go.
Thanks, Chris. Ray Rice carrying for a couple of yards up to the 25-yard line. There have been some big plays. Interception by Ed Reed. Set up the touchdown from Joe Flacco to Daniel Wilcox with a beautiful catch. And then the Eagles responded. Quentin Demps goes 100 yards on the kickoff return to get the Eagles alive. The Eagles have called a timeout. Ravens with the ball on their own 25-yard line. This is doubleheader day on the NFL on Fox. Many of you will see the Giants and the Arizona Cardinals. Some of you will see the Redskins at Seattle, and others will see Carolina at Atlanta. All good games coming up on the second game of the NFL on Fox. Eli Manning and Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner having a fabulous, maybe even an MVP
Well,
season.
I don't think there's any doubt the way that he's playing right now, and it's to me remarkable in the way they're getting it done. Both teams are playing good defense. I think the Giants are better on defense, but in terms of the offense, the Cardinals are clearly doing it through the air, and the Giants are clearly doing it on the ground. Those are the top 2 scoring teams, as you saw right there in the NFC.
On the offensive line for the Baltimore Ravens, David Hale has replaced Ben Grubbs. Grubbs has gone to the sideline, being checked out, an eye problem. On 2nd and 9, Flacco under pressure, throws, completes to Todd Heap, stays in bounds, and then is hit by Sheldon Brown and taken down up across the 40 at the 44-yard line. Nice play by Heap to stay in bounds after the grab.
Well, and Asante Samuel, I mean, he's playing the ball rather than the player there, and trying to go up and get a steal and get it out of Heap's hands instead of concentrating on making the tackle.
3 wide receivers in. Pickup of 18 on the last play. Heap in the block. Pressure on Flacco. He throws too high for Mark Clayton. Covered on the play by Brian Dawkins, who got a piece of Clayton after the ball went sailing over his head. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Ravens, who have 2 timeouts remaining. The Eagles, who deferred at the start of the game, will get the ball to start the second half. They'd like to shut the Ravens down here. Pressure on Flacco. He gets rid of it to Ray Rice. Couple of nice moves by Rice into Eagles territory and out of bounds at the 34-yard line. The quickness of the rookie, Ray Rice, turns a short pass into a 20-yard gain, and now the Ravens are within long field goal range.
Well, they love this guy, and that was why. I mean, did you see that open field move on Asante Samuel? Whoa.
Quick feet. 3 wide receivers. Heap lines up in the backfield. Blitz is on. They got him. He threw it as he was hit. I don't know if it's going to be ruled a fumble or not. The Eagles say they have it.
Yeah, I think they're going to rule it a fumble. Let's see what. Yeah,
they ruled it a fumble.
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by Philadelphia, first down.
Sean Considine with the blitz. Joselio Hansen in on the play. May have made the recovery.
All-out blitz. They'll bring Considine from the left, Joselio Hansen from the right, and they just sandwich Joe Flacco. I mean, here's Considine come from the right of your screen. There's Joselio Hansen coming from the left. Now, was that arm going forward? It looked like the arm was going forward, and this one's going to go upstairs for a booth review.
I didn't like the hit to the head by Considine.
This will be a tuck rule in the definition of the tuck rule. If the ball's coming, the hand is coming forward, and the ball's still in the hand, this will not be ruled a fumble.
Flacco says he's okay.
Let's get another look at it here. Is the hand coming forward? Now, I think he still had a grasp of it as his hand was coming forward before the ball was knocked out.
He's shaking. He took a blow to the head from Considine.
He's taking some good shots today. I don't think this one's going to be ruled a fumble.
Walt Anderson, after communicating with the booth upstairs, goes underneath to take a look. And a little tweaking of the procedure by the referee. He will have another official with him, and he will dictate everything that he sees, and it'll be put down in writing so they know that no confusion as to where the ball is and where the spot will be. Stay tuned. We've got the Visa halftime report coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll have scores and highlights from around the league. The Fox Sports ticker has the up to the second scores and stats. You can check out what your fantasy team is doing on the Visa halftime report.
And again, I think what Walt is looking for is the hand empty when it's going forward, and I don't think it is. That's an incomplete pass. That isn't a fumble.
I would agree with you on that.
And I mean, that's
as he's going down, he's signaling my arm was going forward. Walt Anderson.
You get a pretty good idea there of how Jim Johnson wants to turn up the blitz and really just send more guys than the offense can block. He really predicates his pressure packages on doing exactly that, attacking protections and sending more defenders than they've got offensive blockers.
They really went all out on that blitz coming from both sides, and here's the ruling from our referee.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback was hit and his right hand was coming forward in control of the football. It's an incomplete pass. It will be second down on the 34-yard line. Please put 53 seconds on the game clock.
Fans are happy about that. Time taken to make sure they've got the right amount of time on the clock. So the Ravens retain possession. They're still in range for a long field goal try. There are 2 kickers active for John Harbaugh today. Matt Stover, who kicked a 44-yarder earlier. They've got the rookie Steve Hauschka, who's got a very strong leg and could go for a real long one. There's Hauschka, rookie out of North Carolina State. Ray Rice in the backfield. Todd Heap lines up in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Flacco feels the pressure, trying to get away and throws it away. And Nabi Amiri was after him again. So with a family in attendance, Victor Abiamiri doing a good job. They can notice him on the field.
And he's just going to get better and better. I mean, remember, he had a wrist injury for a good portion to start this season. And I know they're pumped to have him back in the lineup because he brings quickness and speed along with Darren Howard to their interior pass rush.
And here come the Ravens on 3rd and 10. And the handoff to Ray Rice. And he's wrapped up at the 35-yard line. That's a loss of a yard. Try to surprise, try to get into field goal position.
What a play by Darren Howard. Watch him come underneath the puller here. I mean, you can't play run defense any better than this. He shoots inside. The puller, being Chris Chester, the right guard, ends up going outside of him. And Darren Howard is right there at the line of scrimmage to get himself a good tackle. For a guy who's known as a pass rusher, and I said it earlier, had to change his game moving to the inside. He can play the run now. I mean, he was a very, very good player, playing every down when he was down in New Orleans.
Leads the team with 8 sacks, despite being a guy who rotates in and out. He's not an every down player. And there is Steve Hauschka coming out to attempt a field goal. It'll probably be about a 53-yard try. Hauschka is 1 for 1 this season, and that kick was a 54-yarder.
I'm really impressed with Philadelphia's defensive line today. I mean, they said it yesterday. We have to control the line of scrimmage, and so far today they have.
Both defenses.
Yeah, both defenses have played real good.
So here is a 53-yard attempt for Steve Hauschka. He's got the leg, but it stays outside the upright. It's no good. He certainly had the distance, but he misses wide. And with 17 seconds remaining in the half, the Eagles come out. He got a lot on this kick. Oh, it clears, but just stays outside the upright. The Eagles are out of timeouts.
You take a knee and get to the locker room right here.
The Eagles will get the ball to start the second half. Well, we thought the quarterbacks would be big, but the quarterbacks have not had good first halves. The defenses have dominated. And the Eagles got the return. McNabb's going to put it up.
This is interesting.
Okay. He waits, he throws, incomplete. Too low. Jason Avant, the intended receiver.
Boy, I question this move against this defense. I really do.
No. Andy Reid apparently saying we're going to go for it at the 43, figuring maybe we can get into position to kick a field goal. Though they are out of timeouts. 4 wide receivers in. And everybody out. McNabb hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Trevor Price got an arm on Donovan McNabb and pulled him down. There's a flag on the play.
I wouldn't be sure if this is an intentional ground. There wasn't a receiver out there, and he was in the pocket. I think they'll call it on Baltimore, some other foul, but I mean, there was no receiver in sight.
Holding number 41, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Frank Walker, who's in as a 6th defensive back for the Ravens. So the ball is moved up to the 48-yard line with 7 seconds remaining in the half. Ravens bring in Antoine Barnes, linebacker, with 6 defensive backs. And the Eagles go with 4 wide receivers. McNabb goes outside to Kevin Curtis, and he's out of bounds at the Ravens 44-yard line. Well, we talked about keeping your eyes on Donovan McNabb. Overamped, well, he started off 7 for 10, but has been 0 for his last 5, including a couple of interceptions. The defense for Baltimore has done the job against the Eagles, giving up just 35 yards rushing in the first half. And the play selection, 10 rushes for the Eagles. They ran the ball only 5 times in the first half last week against Cincinnati.
Almost 2-1 again in favor of the pass. And if you think of the good drive they had that was really stopped as they got into Baltimore territory when Jarrett Johnson came around and knocked the ball away from McNabb, that was the drive they were running the football on.
See the games coming up. Second part of our NFL on Fox doubleheader. The offensive coordinator is Marty Mornhinweg. And across the way, Rex Ryan. There's a holdover from the previous coaching staff. John Harbaugh, with great respect for Rex Ryan, says he sits in a lot on the defensive meetings now to learn more about Rex Ryan's defensive system. On second down. The Eagles send everybody out. McNabb puts it up to the end zone for Hank Baskett. It's batted down. Corey Ivy was there, Ed Reed was there, and the first half comes to an end. Defenses dominate. The Eagles offense put nothing on the board. McNabb threw a couple of picks and fumbled one. Baltimore leading at halftime.
Visa Halftime Report, sponsored by Visa. No matter how you celebrate game day, Visa is the way to go.
And welcome to the Visa Halftime Report. Kurt Menefee along with Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy as we get you caught up on the highlights so far here in Week 12.
All right, let's get it going. Don't have any Eagle offense. Donovan McNabb, 2 interceptions. So what do, Jimmy? Let's turn to old Quentin Dimps. Quentin, can you go 100 yards? You bet I can. And he does on this kickoff. Good football game. Ravens on top, though, of the Eagles, 10-7. That's a halftime score. 49ers at Dallas. Tony Romo, Mr. Excitement. Well, something the Cowboys haven't had a lot of since he's been out for three games is this. Avoids the sack, finds his man Terrell Owens. Terrell saying, get me the ball. Good things will happen. Okay, Terrell, we did it. 75-yard touchdown, the longest in Romo's career, 7-6. Cowboys, Carlos Polk blocks Andy Lee's punt. All Cowboys, 22-6 over the visiting 49ers. Bears at the Rams, Kyle Orton. That's the Bear quarterback. This, Wally Unguglier sacks Mark Bulger. He has to leave the game. Bulger replaced by Trent Green. Bulger will not return in this game. Second quarter, rookie running back out of Tulane. 10 rushes, 88 yards. I'm talking about Matt Forte. This a 47-yard touchdown run. 24-3 Bears on top of the Rams. Minnesota, Jacksonville. First snap, all over the place. The center, Meester, knocks it on the ground. It's picked up by Napoleon Harris. He takes it in from 27 yards out. 7-0 Vikings. Then Chester Taylor wanted to go to the right, Howie. A bunch of folks over there. So what do? Go to the left. He does. 17-10 Vikings on top of the Jaguars. Garcia of Tampa Bay up visiting the Lions. Good job by Garcia finding Ike Hilliard on a 36-yard touchdown. 17-14 Lions. Garcia then finds the tight end, Jeremy Stevens, a zone route, a seam route, go away from the tight end. He hits him 21-17. Tampa Bay on top of Detroit. Brett Favre and the Jets down at Tennessee. Hey, Tennessee hadn't lost the game. Jets, they say, we don't care. Throw me a screen pass, Brett. That's what Thomas Jones said. Brett did. 10-yard touchdown, 10-3. Jets on top of Tennessee. New England at Miami. Young quarterback Matt Castle. Empty backfield, takes it, quarterback draw, 8-yard run, 10-7 New England over Miami. Chad Pennington looks right, looks to the wide flare. Everybody dropping off in the end zone means it's zone. Pennington turns on that speed. Do it. 7-yard touchdown run. 14-10 Miami. Then Matt Castle, a little hitch route, a hook down 10 yards. Randy Moss did. He turned around. He looked at his quarterback Castle, threw him the ball. He then caught it, went 25 yards, 17-14. New England on top of Miami. That is a halftime. Oh, now we're early in the third quarter.
A couple of other third quarter scores. The Texans up by a touchdown, and Buffalo at halftime trying to end that 4-game losing streak after that 5-1 start to the season. All right, Michael, McNabb, 7 turnovers in his last 6 quarters, but today he's not the only offensive guy struggling.
No, everybody's struggling. They can't run the ball. They can't do anything. Both teams are struggling. This is a game when they went to the game, they understood we're not going to score a lot of points. This is where both defenses are great. It's a matter of who can have the least amount of turnovers and then who can make something out of the turnovers that they do get. You can see Ed Reed try to do a little toss back. That's when you know your offense struggles, and defensively, you're thinking we just need points extremely bad. We'll do anything we can to get them. That's when you almost do too much. But Baltimore's been fortunate, 3 turnovers by the Eagles, and right now the Eagles are lucky to be in this game.
10 runs, 18 passes, same old theme in Philadelphia for a grand total of 82 yards. And the odd thing is Dan Klecko, your converted defensive lineman who's playing fullback, is your leading receiver with 2 receptions for 18 yards. Understandably, you're going to struggle a little bit against Baltimore, but this offense has kind of come to a screeching halt.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Klecko made a nice tackle, though, on one of those interceptions.
McNabb needs a healthy Brian Westbrook.
Well, he doesn't have it right now, and it looks like the Giants will not have a healthy running back in Brandon Jacobs. On the pregame show, our insider Jay Glazer reported that Jacobs would start today with that bad knee in Arizona, but since then he's got new information saying that not only will Jacobs not start, he won't be active at all. Of course, Giants and Arizona game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Second half of your game coming up next.
man. That's a good prompter reading there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
If Tim Ryan had played for the Baltimore Ravens or the Colts, his painting might be in there too. There's some great artwork outside the stadium. But he only played for the Chicago Bears. First half, defense dominates. A lot of pressure on the quarterbacks. Give me your thoughts about what do you look ahead to the second half.
Well, both defenses played great. You said it. They want to keep that trend going here in the second half. One offensive player for both teams is the only guy doing anything today. That's LaRon McClain, Sam, who's got 8 carries, 44 yards, 5.5 a pop. Really, the difference has been the McNabb turnovers, the 2 interceptions and the fumble, which Jarrett Johnson forced, and then the long kickoff return for a touchdown by Quentin Demps. So someone offensively is going to have to get something going in this football game in terms of determining the outcome and who wins or loses.
Steve Hauschka to kick it off. Start the second half. Quentin Demps is deep. And here he comes from the 4. Demps pushes his own man forward. He picked up a lot of speed right away, just as he did on the 100-yard return, but this time ran into his own man. Now we go down to the sidelines where Chris Myers is standing by. Chris.
Sam, a very calm John Harbaugh came out here for the second half, just upset, obviously, of all things, the run back, right, against his team. He was annoyed about that, being a former special teams coach. But he saw something in the aggressiveness on offense of Flacco and the team and thinks they need to do more of that in the second half with a narrow lead. Andy Reid shaking his head as he went to the half. Donovan McNabb, but it's worth asking, is he healthy? Yes, his health is fine. The mental health of the team, an issue, and that's probably why the Eagles have made the change at quarterback.
What a change here. Kevin Cobb is in to start the second half.
Wow.
That's shaking up things.
This is huge. This is a storyline that is absolutely huge, and sitting down Donovan McNabb for the second half of this football game. And I really believe the one that got him was the turnover that Ed Reed, the interception to Ed Reed, that was really a bad throw behind Deshaun Jackson. This surprises me.
Third game that Kevin Cobb has appeared in this season, played in the season opener against St. Louis and in week 3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Short drop, and he completes it to Brent Selleck, the tight end, up to the 32-yard line. First half for Donovan McNabb, 8 for 18, 59 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble right there, and he was sacked twice. And some of his passes were off the mark.
This is the one right here.
Yeah. That's the Ed Reed interception that set up the touchdown for the Ravens. 3rd and 1. Deshaun Jackson out of the Wildcat formation and a first down for the Eagles. So they set up Jackson to take the direct snap, and he runs for a first down.
Well, it's a copycat league, and everybody's doing it. Direct snap right to this guy, Deshaun Jackson. He's just going to run around the corner and just outruns Jarrett Johnson to the edge and then cuts up inside Samari Roll. I mean, Jarrett Johnson had good upfield pressure there, but Deshaun Jackson is so quick with his ability to start and get to full speed so fast. He just got the edge on Jarrett Johnson.
Baskett and Jackson, the 2 wide receivers, both out to the right side. Cobb rolls and throws and completes it. Nope, it was dropped after the hit by Hank Baskett. He had it and dropped it. Kevin Cobb, second-year man out of the University of Houston, a second-round draft pick last year. He is 6'3", 218 pounds, 24 years old, from Stephenville, Texas, and now getting a chance to play the second half. And Donovan McNabb standing on the sideline.
In a game of this magnitude, with really the season in the balance against this defense, I mean, this is a huge statement by Andy Reid.
Westbrook up across midfield. Brought down by Bart Scott. Pickup of 6 on the play. Ed Reed gets up, and he is hurting. Big moment for Andy Andy
Does this
Reid.
surprise you?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, Donovan McNabb is the face of the Eagles franchise, and Andy Reid in a crucial situation here.
And if you think about it, it's not just today. I mean, this has got to go back. The last 2 games, he's been under 50% completion rate in terms of completing his passes. 13 points against the Cincinnati team last week and 58 passes.
Well, when Andy Reid went into the meeting on Wednesday and yelled at the players and said jobs were on the line, I guess he included the quarterbacks as well. Ed Reed is out, replaced by Haruki Nakamura, the rookie out of Cincinnati. Cobb out of the shotgun. With pressure, he throws low for Kevin Curtis. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Samari Roll covering on the play. So Cobb's series, which started back at the 23, gets up to midfield, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not like they came out with Kevin Cobb in the second half and started handing the football off.
They want him to run the offense.
Yep.
5th punt of the game for Sam Rocca. Gets it way up in the air. Yamon Figures waits for a fair catch and takes it at the 10-yard line. So, Donovan McNabb benched in the second half. The offense for the Eagles did not do anything in the first half. The season is basically on the line at 5-4-1 in a very tough NFC East. A game today that they must win. A game Thursday at home against Arizona. Basically, you're looking at a team that has to go, at worst, 5-1 the rest of the season. So the change to come. On first down, no gain. Let's check out what the Dallas Cowboys are doing at home against San Francisco. Here's Kurt Menefee.
And they're doing it through the air. This time, Tony Romo hooking up with Patrick Creighton for a 10-yard score. Dallas up by 20, but the big number is T.O. He complained this week about not getting the ball. So far, 4 catches, 180 yards, and they're just in the 3rd quarter, Sam and Tim.
It's against his former team, Kurt. Like that. 2nd and 10. LaRon McClain up to the 15-yard line. As the Ravens go back to the type of game plan they want to run the ball on the first and 2nd down.
And I said it there at halftime. That's the only offensive player that's really having any solid production today. That's LaRon McClain. He's almost at 5 yards a pop. He's got 10 carries, 49 yards. The thing I'm impressed with is yeah, he's a power back at 260 pounds, but the guy's got good vision. There's Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator there. And you could see that vision by McClain just as he sees where the cutback lanes are.
Empty backfield as Ray Rice went in motion, complete to Derek Mason. 1st down for the Ravens. He's out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Joselio Hansen forced him out, and that is Asante Samuel down on the field. Shaken up.
Well, Yamon Figures hit him just as the ball with this almost offensive pass interference. And it was very, very close as Yamon Figures was hitting Asante Samuel right before the ball got. That is OPI. That was missed. That's offensive pass interference that was not called. He hit him before the ball got to the receiver.
Derek Mason made the catch. Now here he comes back onto the field.
Well, terrific sportsmanship. Very good receiver versus very good corner, and there's a mutual respect. I mean, he's the guy that got the catch and then comes back in and sees that Asante Samuel is down and goes to check him out, see how he's doing.
The good news is Asante Samuel got up and ran off the field. Flacco on 1st down throws wide of Derek Mason. There's Asante Samuel on the sideline. He was shaken up earlier in the game.
And he's had a very good year. I mean, he said he could not be in a better spot than here on this Philadelphia defense. That he's not used to all the pressure in front of him. Being in New England, they don't blitz nearly as much as Philadelphia and Jim Johnson. And Jim said he's played very good, but could be even better. Sam said he's left a lot of interceptions this year on the field.
Vito Shepard has replaced him. Off the play fake. Flacco on 2nd and 10. Throws and completes it to Mason. Slips the tackle. and still finds a couple of extra yards with some good moves. Is out of bounds up at the 46-yard line.
Look at the arm strength here from Flacco. I mean, this is all the way over on the opposite boundary to Derek Mason. You see there, he's just going to run a comeback route to the outside. Joe Flacco is on the opposite hash. And that's probably the thing, I think, in talking to Jim Johnson that he was most impressed with Joe Flacco was his arm strength. He said he can really spin it. He's got some Carson Palmer to him to where when that ball comes out, it's talking to you. It's got some hum on it.
Picked up 22 on the last play. Mark Clayton motions. LeRon McClain, nothing there. Eagles stack him up short of the line of scrimmage. Good job up front. Stopping LeRon McClain. Joe Flacco now 7 for 19 in the game. Had a look at Jim Johnson calling out his defensive play against the young quarterback.
I'll tell you what helped out Joe Flacco was going to the Senior Bowl. I mean, nobody really knew about him coming out of Delaware. And when he showed up at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, and guys saw his size and how that ball came out and how he handled himself, is a big part of him being a first-round pick.
Ray Rice in the backfield with Lorenzo Neal. And a flag goes down. Somebody moved.
False start, number 42, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Lorenzo Neal. The Eagles were pointing right at him as soon as they saw him flinch, and the flag came out. Ravens have Ben Grubbs back at left guard. He was shaken up late in the first half and replaced at the time by David Hale. He's back in. Ravens set back to the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 16. Rice and Neal in the backfield. Flacco under pressure. Dumps it off to Lorenzo Neal. He juggles and comes up short of the line of scrimmage. Let's find out what's going down on the field, and we go to Chris Myers for that.
Well, Lorenzo Neal, known more for his blocking, 11 straight years with a 1,000-yard rusher behind him, 16 years at that fullback position. He said his secret formula for staying in shape, he's one of those ultimate fighter guys. You know, Chuck Liddell, and he works on boxing as well. And Cam Cameron, who was with him in San Diego, said his leadership in the huddle is a great aid to Joe Flacco. And if there's a fullback Hall of Fame, this guy should be the first one in it.
You're right about that. I thought Chris was the ultimate fighting champion.
With that face?
Flacco on 3rd down. To Ray Rice, and he missed it. He turned too quickly, dropped the ball. So the Ravens unable to get much going offensively. And Sam Cook, the hardest working man on the field today, comes out for another punt.
You know, good stuff from Chris Myers. Chris would get his hair messed up in the UFC, so he couldn't do that.
Oh, I see.
He knows better than that. But Lorenzo Neal, I'm telling you, he's been so good for so long, and the ripple effect of him leaving San Diego. Look at the numbers of LaDainian Tomlinson.
That's a good point.
I don't think there's any question they miss Lorenzo Neal.
Deshaun Jackson on the return stumbles and falls forward close to the 20-yard line. And the Eagles, with Kevin Cobb at quarterback, come back on the field. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Many of you will see the Giants at the Arizona Cardinals. Some will see Washington on the road in Seattle and Carolina in Atlanta. Great football still to come on the NFL on Fox. Cobb dropping deep for a screen pass, and he throws it at the feet of the would-be receiver. There's a flag. Is it intentional grounding? I didn't see a receiver there. I saw a lineman.
No, I think they might get Runyon here on Jarrett Johnson.
Okay. For holding.
Holding, number 69, offense.
You got it.
Penalty, still first down.
Well, here's Jarrett Johnson here. There's John Runyon, excuse me, right there at right tackle. No, that's a bad call. That's a bad call. I mean, Jarrett Johnson's feet slipped out from underneath him. He fell down, and Runyon did what all good tackles should do. Jump right on his back so he can't get up.
Flag came right out, though. Eagles set back to the 20, 1st and 20. Our offense has not been able to get much rolling in this game. Just 54 yards passing for a team that came in ranked 4th in the league in passing. Cobb rolling, throwing, and short. of the would-be receiver, Hank Baskett. Chris Myers, what's going on?
Well, John Runyon is a guy who's played in pain, and in a day and age when other guys are bothered by something and they sit out or miss practice, his consecutive streak performance is something that he's proud of. He says, I have no shame in saying that's why I need to keep going. He almost missed a game when he hurt his back slipping, get into a hot tub, and then he said this week out at his farm there was ice on some steps going out to see the donkeys. He almost took a tumble, but he's proud to play.
Thank you, Chris. Westbrook slowed down, pulled down for a loss. Outstanding play by Antoine Barnes, who comes in on long yardage situations. The second-year man out of Florida International. Good tackle on Brian Westbrook.
Well, really good stuff. Here he is, number 50 here, and watch his penetration into the backfield. I mean, first he's going to take on the tight end Selleck. He's going to shed him, come inside, and get on Brian Westbrook, and then have enough grip strength. That's hard now, harder than it looks to hang on to those running backs when they got their momentum going forward and be able to drag them down by claw.
Eagles have to get to the 30-yard line for a first down. Blitz coming, they stop the play as flags fly. False start on the Eagles. We'll send them back another.
False start, number 62, offense. Half the distance to the goal is still third down.
Sets him back 3.5. Next, Gene Gillis on the false start.
I can't talk enough about coming out with Kevin Kolb, I think, in the second half of this game. And the magnitude of this game in this venue, which is crazy, against this defense. And I got to tell you, I didn't think it was all McNabb's fault in the first half of the game. To me, he had one bad throw, which was the Ed Reed interception.
Which raises the question, what is Donovan McNabb's future in Philadelphia?
Well, you definitely have to start thinking about that. Big picture.
Cobb in the end zone, being rushed. Gets out of the end zone, no one to throw to, and he is tripped up. Bart Scott got a piece of him. Cobb went flying out of bounds. The Eagles will be forced to punt again. Defense and penalties do the job against the Eagles offense, which has put up only 114 yards total in the game. Sav Rocca with his 6th punt of the game. Figures back to the Ravens. It's blocked. It is blocked for a safety by Jameel McClain, a native of Philadelphia. Jameel McClain, the rookie out of Syracuse, comes through, blocks Sav Rocca's punt. It goes through the end zone for a safety. The Ravens lead 12-7.
Well, and Considine right here, the personal protector, never looks to the right. Jameel McClain, look at it, hit him right in the face mask. Went right to the right of the snapper, and Considine never saw him.
John Harbaugh's got to be happy about his special teams now. Great play by the Philadelphia native Jameel McClain. The punt by Rocca taken up short. And on the return, Jim Leonard, the safety, brings it back across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Well, a couple of things on the block punt by McClain. And you know, I said that Considine, who's here, does not get over, which he doesn't. But here's the guy, Chris Gokong. His guy's going to drop out. When his guy drops out, Gokong's got to get over there and help his center seal, and he's late coming over the left guard. You see, he's late getting over right there and ends up being behind McClain and really just almost helps push him into the blocked punt.
There's a challenge flag thrown by Andy Reid. I don't know exactly what he's challenging here. Did the ball come loose?
There is no challenge on the play.
All right. After the consultation with the referee, Andy Reid's flag is picked up and there's no challenge.
You know what a frustrating year for Andy Reid. He said we need to coach better, players need to play better, but you think of the talent level on this team. and how it matches up with the inconsistency in being 5-4-1. There's no excuse for it.
Lito Shepherd remains in for Asante Samuel, left cornerback. Mark Clayton went in motion. Here's Ray Rice. He slips in the backfield. There's a flag down, and the Eagles cover him for a loss back at the 43-yard line. May have been an illegal shift.
I wouldn't be surprised if Philly just declines it and takes the tackle for loss.
Illegal motion, number 89, moving forward at the snap. That penalty is declined. It's second down.
Yeah, it's the smart thing to do.
Chris Myers, what's up with?
Well, you mentioned Jameel McClain grew up on the mean streets of Philadelphia, but Sam, his story, his father was in prison until McClain got out of high school. He was homeless for a while, lived with the Salvation Army, scholarship to Syracuse because he worked in boxing, signed as a free agent, an undrafted free agent, and has not forgotten his roots. Fans here in Baltimore appreciate that he spends a lot of his time donating his time for those that are less fortunate, including this Thanksgiving, often asking the front office of the Ravens, is there anything I can do for the less fortunate? And he came up big, fortunate for the Ravens on that block punt.
Thanks, Chris. What a great story of perseverance and determination and dedication. Jameel McClain, now in the NFL, an undrafted free agent rookie who went through Syracuse, and that is a great story.
The only undrafted free agent to make this team, Sam, this summer.
What they like to do, the Ravens, with Ray Rice, is throw that screen pass, and that last play after the loss of yardage, a pickup to close to the first down as they stretch the chains. Oh, it's an in short. 12-yard pickup on the screen play to Ray Rice.
Now, Akeem Jordan was the guy who tried to make the play, and he's the guy starting for Philadelphia today for exactly that matchup, to try to get on Ray Rice on those screens and those little space plays.
3rd and inches for the Ravens. This has been a defensive battle. Neither offense has done much, but the Ravens capitalized on an interception by Ed Reed and set up a touchdown pass to Daniel Wilcox. Ray Rice is split out, empty backfield, quarterback sneak by Flacco. Did he get an inch? The ball came loose. The Eagles say they have it. There's no signal from the officials.
It depends on if they had called forward progress, had been stopped, because that ball gets ripped out before Joe Flacco's down. And you just wonder if the whistle had blown, that momentum had been stopped before they ripped the ball out. There's no question in my mind that they got it out.
Andy Reid's got the challenge flag out. He's ready to throw it because he thinks his team should have possession of the ball. The official's talking it over.
The field, the quarterback's forward progress was stopped. It's a first down.
Yep.
And now Andy Reid throws the flag again.
I don't think it's challengeable.
And then Walt Anderson.
See, because it wasn't down by contact. They had made the ruling that forward progress had stopped. The whistle had blown before the ball was ripped out, and you cannot challenge forward progress.
Because the ruling on the field was forward progress, Philadelphia is not challenging the ruling on the field. It's first down.
And that is picked up again. So twice Andy Reid has wanted challenge, and he picked it up.
Well, and here's Flacco, first trying to get it. Now the whistle blows, and then the ball right there at the end was pulled out after forward progress had already been ruled stop.
First down, Ravens at the 44. Heap shifts. Ray Rice gets close to the 40-yard line, where he's brought down. Ray Rice is 5'8", 205 pounds, had a wonderful career at Rutgers.
You know what he's got to me? He's got some Tiki Barber in him. And, you know, I mean, he'll be lucky to have even close to Tiki's career. But when you look at him and watch the style of player he is, And the guy had a lot of wear and tear coming out of Rutgers. He had 910 college carries. I mean, that's amazing, and almost 5,000 rushing yards at Rutgers.
A little more speed than Tiki has. Blitz coming. Flacco is hit from behind by Quentin Michael. The ball's still loose, and the Ravens cover it back at their own 36-yard line. Willie Anderson got back to cover it. Quentin Michael blitzing from the outside knocked the ball loose.
And again, I think we'll be looking for an empty hand here. Is his hand empty when it's coming forward, Joe Flacco?
Number 79, it's third down.
No, that ball was still, his hand was still backwards. Now, here's the deal. Abiamiri, you just got to get on the ball. Get on the ball. You're a defensive lineman. You got purple shirts all around you. Get the turnover. He tried to scoop and score right there, and now Baltimore ends up retaining possession. Yeah, that's definitely a fumble as Michael comes from the backside and knocks it out before Flacco's arm was coming forward.
Third sack of the game for the Eagles. And on 3rd and a mile, they run the ball. And the Ravens will bring out the punting unit. So the Eagles come up with a couple of big plays. That blitz by Quentin Michael, and if you're just joining us, that is Donovan McNabb on the sideline. He is not injured. He has been benched at the start of the second half after having an 8 for 18 59-yard first half with 2 interceptions, 1 fumble lost, and going 1 for his last 8. A punt by Sam Cook, a good one. Deshaun Jackson at the 11. And goes out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. They'll spot it at the 15. The Eagles have the ball back, trailing by 5.
Donovan McNabb stunned. He'll celebrate his 32nd birthday this week. Never before in his career has he been benched at halftime based on performance, and that's been the case today. He said going into the game, when Andy Reid ripped into the team this week, he challenged everybody, including myself. And if you're shocked he's benched, many on the Eagles sideline feel the same way.
Kevin Cobb on first down, and that pass incomplete. As the Eagles offense continues to struggle, Cobb was pressured on the play. He's just 1 for 4. And this is his 3rd offensive series, now 1 for 5. Kevin Curtis, the intended receiver. The Eagles have put up 114 yards total offense for the game, 54 yards passing. Westbrook in the backfield with Cobb. 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, they're blitzing him.
Ray Lewis looks like he's coming. He is. Cobb gets time and throws deep for Kevin Curtis, and Samari Rolle picks it off. Third interception of the game for the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, and it's a 6-man blitz. I mean, they sent 6 guys after him. That means Kevin Cobb knew he had a one-on-one matchup to the outside and simply underthrew the ball to Kevin Curtis. And you can see Kevin Curtis has to separate and try to come back. Samari Rolle gets the interception. That's a bad throw.
His 3rd of the season. Kevin Cobb on the sideline, talking to his tight end, Brent Selleck. On the other side, the Ravens defense. What a game they are having.
They have really responded from last week's performance.
LaRon McClain carrying for a couple of yards. Well, Tennessee isn't going to be undefeated anymore. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
That's the way it looks right now, Sam. In the 4th quarter, Leon Washington breaking this game open. Washington's had a good year, but this is a great run. 61 yards on the score. It's now 27-6. Jets lead it in the 4th quarter at Tennessee, trying to hand the Titans their first loss of the year. Sam?
Thanks, Kurt. Can you measure the meaning of Brett Favre to the New York Jets?
I think people in the AFC are starting to see what we in the NFC have had for about 16 years.
Flacco's pass is complete to Mark Clayton. And he is down at the 26-yard line. Michael took him down. Clayton's first catch of the game. Picked up a 25 on the play.
Out here on Sheldon Brown. He's going to get Sheldon to turn his hips, and then he just runs a comeback route. Again, very good adjustment, and here's the big arm. I mean, look at the rotation on that football. Hard to see it there, but Joe Flacco just, I mean, when he unloads it, the amount of time between the time it leaves his hand and when it gets to the receiver, there's just not enough time. I mean, it's so fast the corners can't recover.
Lorenzo Neal at fullback. Blitz coming. McClain carrying. And pushing hard for a couple of yards down to the 25-yard line. Flacco in the first half, 5 for 16. Numbers a lot better here in the second half. 5 of 7. Mostly safe passes.
I don't know how safe they are when you're throwing from the opposite hash on a 15-yard out or comeback to the outside.
All right.
I mean, the corners have a lot of time to close the gap on the corners, and like I said, because of the velocity on the ball from the QB, they can't do it.
Yeah, he's got a very strong arm. McClain again lunges forward, picks up about a yard on the play down to the 24-yard line. As we come to the end of the third quarter, the Ravens defense continues to impress. The Eagles in trouble have benched their starting quarterback. Ravens lead at 12-7. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers in Baltimore as we start the fourth quarter. Ravens with a 3rd and 8 at the Eagles 24. 3 wide receivers in. Flacco out of the shotgun. Gets protection and throws broken up. Nice play by Sheldon Brown, reaching in on Mark Clayton. And Matt Stover will come out to attempt a field goal.
That's a real good job. Tight coverage because they had a safety blitz coming up in front of it. Flacco made the right read. Sheldon Brown was just stuck to Mark Clayton there and then came over the top from behind him and reached around with his hand and batted it out.
Stover will attempt a 42-yarder. He made a 44-yarder in the first half. Long snapper is Matt Catula. The holder is Sam Cook, and Stover puts it up and just inside the upright. So the Ravens now have an 8-point lead. Stover with 2 field goals in the game. Baltimore leading Philadelphia 15-7. Kevin Cobb staying in for Donovan McNabb. Back in Baltimore, the look of concern on the face of Andy Reid. His offense has just not gotten going. They had 1 good drive of 9 plays, 56 yards in the first half, and then Donovan McNabb turned it over. Line drive kickoff is picked up by the up man, Dan Klecko. And Klecko, the fullback, bulls his way up close to the 35-yard line. A little pushing and shoving after the whistle. Things settle down. We've got a big doubleheader day here on the NFL on Fox. Most of you, many of you will see the Giants at the Arizona Cardinals. Some of you will see the Redskins at Seattle, and others will see Carolina at Atlanta. And down in Arizona, Anquan Bolden, leading receiver, one of the favorites for Kurt Warner. Justin Tuck will be trying to rush Kurt Warner and sack him a couple of times. Westbrook and Klecko in the backfield as Kevin Cobb operates out of the shotgun. Westbrook didn't get much, never got going. And a good job up front by Haloti Ngata, the man we talked about, mostly on defense, though he did line up on offense for a couple of snaps.
You're not going to move 345 pounds. Here he is there, and watch as the right guard comes off the ball right here, Max Gene Gillis, and just gets locked out. I mean, that's what you call extension and then shedding and getting to the ball carrier. Perfectly played there by the big fella, Haloti Ngata.
2 tight ends to the right side for the Eagles off the play fake. Cobb throws it back on the screen pass, and Westbrook is taken down immediately. The Ravens had that read perfectly. They knew, it was as if they knew what was coming.
Well, I talked about him earlier, and again, it's Haloti Ngata. Here he's on the right side. Watch him read this thing at the line of scrimmage, and he envisioned it the whole way. I mean, he got from the blocking look he got from Jamal Jackson. He felt Jamal Jackson leave him and let him go. That's the intelligence of a third-year player in Haloti Ngata, where it immediately, Sam, registered in his mind. This is a screen. let me get to the edge, and he did and made a play.
Terrell Suggs helped him out. And 3rd and long for the Eagles. Have to get to the 44. Low snap. Cobb gets time. Nobody open. Ray Lewis chasing him. Throws it away. Incomplete. Lewis got a piece of him. Cobb under big time pressure has not been able to spark the offense thus far in the second half.
Watch Ray Lewis feel his way through here because he's coming from all the way over here. He's lined up all the way to the left. He's going to circle back, come inside. Watch this. Look how tight he took that. That's the key right there. You can't bubble out around the offensive line and give them room to recover. He took it tight, took the corner tight, and was able to force the throw.
7th punt for Sav Rocca. Gets away a good one. Backpedaling. Yaman figures to the 14. Trying to get outside. Turns it upfield, out of bounds at around the 25-yard line. The Ravens defense has been outstanding. They stopped the Eagles for 110 yards in the game. 2 sacks and 4 takeaways. There's a couple of outstanding defensive players. The veteran Ray Lewis and the man up front, Haloti Ngata, with 8 tackles in this game. He is, as you mentioned, he is becoming Pro Bowl worthy.
Well, I know I talked to a lot of offensive linemen during the week around the league, and they'll all tell you the same thing. That guy is as underrated and as good as any D tackle playing football today.
After an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to the Eagles bench, the Ravens start from the 40-yard line. And on 1st down, Rice for about a yard.
And here's some of the stuff Haloti Ngata has done all year. I mean, look at his vision point here, knowing where Ben Roethlisberger is. And they're trying to box him in. Roethlisberger tries to get out of the pocket. He's there to clean it up. We've seen this today, his recognition on playing his gap of responsibility, and then watch the big man in pursuit. You know, he grew up playing rugby. And he said in the open field, his ability to close on quarterbacks and ball carriers was all learned and developed as a kid growing up and playing rugby with all the open field tackling that he did.
2 tight ends in. Flacco goes outside for one of those tight ends. Todd Heap, who hears a big chant of Heap from the crowd. And he gets up to the 47-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3. I want to talk Eagles for a moment here, Tim. It's an 8-point game, 1 score, and a 2-point conversion. Is there any way Andy Reid thinks about putting Donovan McNabb back in the game? The Eagles have only had 28 yards under Kevin Cobb offensively.
Well,
in the second
I don't
half.
think he will, but how could you not? Really, I mean, in terms of, as I've said many times, the levity of this game, the magnitude of this game. And you said it, Kevin Cobb has come in and hasn't done any better at all.
Flacco throws, and he's going to get a touchdown out of this. Mark Clayton. 53 yards. A little slant. He got by Lito Shepherd and goes all the way. Flags down for celebration on the Ravens in the end zone. But what a play. And suddenly the complexion of this game has changed again. Clayton's 2nd touchdown of the season.
Well, here's a slant route, and what happens? He takes it inside. Quentin Michael came up and took the flat route to Todd Heap, and Lito Shepherd just gave up inside leverage. I mean, they never got anybody. The outside linebacker tried to get in the throwing lane, but Flacco had so much zip on the football that he squeezed it right in between the outside backer and the corner, and Mark Clayton was off to the races.
I think this has to do with celebration.
Did he go to the ground? And he did. Unless he landed on his feet, it's going to be a penalty for going to the ground.
There is no foul for a player leaving from the field of play going to the ground in the end zone. Touchdown is good.
Okay. Mark Clayton. Take another look.
Now watch what happens. Bradley's going to try to get in the throwing lane right there. He can't. And again, Lito Shepherd gives up the inside leverage. There was 3 things that happened on that play. Quentin Michael, the safety, came up, bit on the flat route, and then the gap was too big from where Stuart Bradley was lined up to get into the throwing lane before Clayton could take the inside away from Lito Shepherd.
That's the position that Asante Samuel would be playing. The outstanding cover corner. He's out injured. Lito Shepherd in, makes a mistake. Clayton goes to the house. Joe Flacco, 2 touchdown passes in the game. One to Daniel Wilcox, a couple of yards, and that one was just a little slant pattern that turned into a 53-yarder.
What a dart. I mean, you couldn't throw that any better. He's played much better here in the second half.
The only points the Eagles have gotten in the game, a 100-yard kickoff return by Quentin Demps. The ball falls off the tee as Steve Hauschka approached it. He'll put it back on. But now it is a 15-point lead for the Baltimore Ravens. And with the way the Eagles offense has been going, they've got to find a miracle now.
You know, I don't want to ruin the moment on the touchdown, but this team, they should be kicking from farther back, because there's no doubt that was a penalty on Mark Clayton for the celebration. He did not leave the field of play, Sam, to take off and launch into the end zone and landed on his back. His feet were already in the end zone when he took off to throw that little front flip that he did.
Don't take away all the fun, Tim. Hauschka's kick. Demps from the 2. Looking for a lane. And he gets up to the 30-yard line before he's wrapped up and taken down. Some frustration showing on the part of the Eagles. Joe Flacco. 12 for 26, but he's hit some nice passes to the outside. He's scrambled for some room and run for a couple of yards. And then he's hit the big one there. Gotten some help from LaRon McClain. We welcome those of you who've been watching the Chicago Bears and St. Louis Rams. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers in Baltimore, where the Eagles trail the Ravens 22-7. And Kevin Cobb is the quarterback starting the second half, replacing Donovan McNabb. He just hooked up with Deshaun Jackson, second-year man out of the University of Houston, replacing Donovan McNabb, who was ineffective in the first half. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles at their 45. Low snap, flags on the play. Deshaun Jackson out of bounds in Ravens territory at the 48. Donovan McNabb 8 for 18, but 3 turnovers in the first half. That's one of them. Fumble taken away by Jared Jackson. The interception there by Fabian Washington. And then Ed Reed with an interception, returned to the 3-yard line, which set up a touchdown pass. First time ever he's been benched. Kevin Cobb has only been able to put up 28 yards coming into this series. He's got 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 3. Ravens come with a blitz. Cobb under pressure throws and completes it to Deshaun Jackson at the 37-yard line. So the Eagles starting to move the ball a little bit here as Cobb has hit 3 for 3 on this drive.
Be interesting to see if Rex Ryan changes it up now against him, because if they haven't been able to get home on the blitz, they've certainly been vulnerable in coverage.
Ryan Westbrook on the inside handoff, breaks through, and Westbrook with a good run down to the 25-yard line. That's another Eagles first down. Jim Leonard, the safety, brought him down. Pickup of 12 on the play. Eagles go no huddle. Short drop by Cobb, and he throws and completes again to Deshaun Jackson. And he's hit hard by Antoine Barnes, brought down at the 14-yard line, and another first down.
Well, and this is easy pickings again. If they don't get home on the blitz, they're just going to run square ends right behind it. And that's exactly what happens. I mean, they pick it up on the O-line picks up the blitz. Kevin Cobb is just getting to that back back foot, and as soon as he hits his drop, he fires it.
And here he fires to Brent Selleck, the tight end, down to the 5-yard line. Best drive of the game, best offensive showing of the game for the Philadelphia Eagles, as they have gone from their 30-yard line down to the Ravens 5. And it looks like they will measure to see if they picked up a first down. Andy Reid, the Eagles head coach, on your left. John Harbaugh, former Eagle assistant coach for 10 years, on the right. First-year head coach of the Ravens.
Kevin Kolb 5 of 5 on this drive. And again, give the O-line credit for picking up the blitz at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. And he's doing a good job diagnosing it and knowing where his wide receivers are going to be open.
12 men. That penalty is declined. It's second down.
There was a penalty for 12 men in the huddle, 12 men on the field for the Ravens. It's second down and inches for the Eagles, just short of the 5-yard line. Westbrook and Klecko in the backfield. Two tight ends. Westbrook to the goal line. He's thrown back by Jim Leonard, the safety, with help from Ray Lewis. But it's a first down for the Eagles. There's a flag down on the far side.
There's no foul on the play. It's first down.
Just a weak side lead right up the gut. And there's Jim Leonard. It looks like he was going to carry Jim Leonard in, but Ray Lewis comes up late, getting off the block from Jamal Jackson, gets his hand around the face mask and rips him back.
And we welcome you to Baltimore, where the Eagles, trailing 22-7, are trying to punch in their first offensive score of the game. Those 7 points came in the earlier on a 100-yard kickoff return by Quentin Demps. The Eagles, down 22-7, have driven from their 30-yard line to the 1-yard line, and this has been one of the trouble spots for the Eagles all season long. Donovan McNabb has been benched here in the second half. They have had trouble punching in from 1 yard out. Cobb still has it. Throws into the end zone. It's intercepted by Ed Reed. He gets away from Cobb, and he is still going down the sideline. Brent Selleck trying to cut him off. Reed needs one more block. He goes all the way. Touchdown. Second interception of the game for Ed Reed. This one he returns 108 yards.
That is a horrible decision to throw that ball. First of all, I didn't like the play call. I mean, 2nd and 2 inches, and they go back and they try to throw that pass to the backside receiver, Reggie Brown, and Ed Reed was on him the whole way. He baited Kevin Kolb into throwing that ball and then undercut it and took it back to the house.
Ed Reed trying to catch his breath. That's the longest interception return for a touchdown in Ravens history. Reed had the previous long at 106.
5 turnovers today by this Baltimore defense.
The pick by Ed Reed, and he goes all the way.
As I said, horrible decision to throw this from Kevin Kolb to Reggie Brown. And you're going to see right here as Ed Reed, he undercuts it the whole way. Kevin Kolb throws that ball late, and it's just a bad decision. Again, I didn't like the play call. I mean, you have 6 inches to get to the goal line.
That is an NFL record, 108-yard interception return for a touchdown. Ed Reed had the previous NFL record at 106. Andy Reid, we talked about it. They can't run the ball in short yardage situations. They have been totally unsuccessful. He went to a pass 6 inches from the goal line.
Sam, you live by the pass, you die by the pass, period.
Jason Avant, the up man, on the return to the 27-yard line. This game has been broken open by the Ravens. Ed Reed picked off Donovan McNabb in the first half and returned it to the 5-yard line. Here, he picks off Kevin Cobb deep in the end zone and takes it all the way back. Couple of missed tackles, couple of blocks, and Ed Reed still recovering on the sideline.
No, he's been outstanding today. He has been outstanding today. And Daniel Wilcox, I think, is down out there, and it doesn't look good. I mean, he had a lot of Ravens, as this happened, yelling over at the sideline to get the medical staff on the field as soon as possible.
That was the 4th interception return for a touchdown by the Ravens this season, and Ed Reed's 2nd. Concern now for Daniel Wilcox, who is down on the field and rolling in pain. But for John Harbaugh and the Ravens, what a performance by the defense, with 4 interceptions, 5 takeaways.
What did Rex Ryan tell us yesterday? He goes, we were embarrassed by last week, and then he looked us both right in the eye on Friday and he said, we'll respond.
That's right.
Believe it. We're Ravens. We'll respond. Boy, have they ever. And another thing, I mean, John Harbaugh comes in, he's a young coach. He has hired a great staff.
Yes.
I mean, keeping Rex Ryan to a man. When you talk to the defenders, they all say it was huge. The continuity from last year, from really the last 8-9 years of defense to this year's defense, and keeping that guy Rex Ryan as a defensive coordinator was a tremendous decision.
I think it shows great self-confidence on the part of John Harbaugh that says, you know what, I'm not worried that he coached on the previous coaching staff.
I agree with you.
He's the best guy for this job right now, and I'm keeping him. Wilcox off the field, looks like he's going to be okay. Now the Eagles with Kevin Cobb at quarterback, handing it off to Brian Westbrook. And Westbrook gets up to the 32-yard line.
Why are you running now?
Where was that play? Inside the 1-yard line for the Philadelphia Eagles. It has all gone bad, and they have another game to play on Thursday night at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Ravens defense. Tim was circling the number 5. That's takeaways for the Ravens defense. Cobb throwing for Jason Avant, and it's incomplete.
I'll tell you, when both quarterbacks come in and you've seen the level of play, it hasn't gotten any better with Kevin Cobb from Donovan McNabb. But you got to start thinking it's just darn good defense.
But the last series was a good drive. They drove from their own 30. A lot of no huddle, hurry up stuff. But Cobb was throwing well, and they get down the 1. And then they throw a pass.
Yeah, all dink and dunk stuff, though, Sam. All underneath stuff. I mean, the quick throws versus the blitz is how they were able to move themselves down the field on that last drive before the big interception.
There's 3rd and 6 for Cobb and the Eagles. Blitz coming. Corey Ivy just missed Cobb. Cobb gets away, heads for the sideline, and is pulled down short of the first down. Terrell Suggs makes the tackle. We go to our man on the sideline, Chris Myers.
Well, and Sam, just updating Daniel Wilcox, it looked worse than it actually was. I mean, he's hurting, but just getting the wind knocked out of him. He should be okay. And Trevor Price on the defensive line with a concussion, out for the remainder of the game for the Ravens. And also, as you mentioned, Asante Samuel on the Eagle defense with a neck injury, unlikely to play here in the remaining moments.
Thank you, Chris.
Daniel Wilcox really got it going today with that first touchdown with really a super catch. So he reached up with one hand, pulled it down, and then was able to get his feet down. Good stuff.
Numbers for Kevin Cobb. 4th and 2 as the Eagles go for it. Cobb pressured. In serious trouble. And the desperation pass is out of bounds, caught by Justin Bannon, the defensive lineman of the Baltimore Ravens, against his helmet. Big time pressure from Ray Lewis and Jared Johnson on Kevin Cobb.
Now don't start thinking about your Giants because of the helmet catch here, please.
I was thinking about David
knew you
Tyree. Bannon made a nice catch.
Yeah, I know my partner.
So the ball comes over on downs. The Ravens are in total control of this game. See, he's getting congratulations on the catch. And the rookie Joe Flacco has kept himself calm and under control. Hands to LaRon McClain, who rumbles down to the 30-yard line. For those of you in the home markets of the late games, we will be switching you to the kickoff of your game right after this message. Here in Baltimore, the Ravens looking to go 7-4, get back to within one game of the first place Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North. Joe Flacco, the numbers aren't overly impressive, but he's made a couple of big plays in this game. McClain carrying again. LaRon McClain has been the workhorse back for the Ravens with 16 carries, 60 yards. Joe Flacco 12 for 26. Not impressive numbers, but again has made a couple of big plays. The pass to Wilcox, a short touchdown pass, was a good one, and the slant pass.
He's got 2 touchdowns. He's got no interception. Yeah. I mean, that right there speaks for itself against this defense.
On third down, McClain goes through, may go all the way, and he is down at the 1-yard line. Sheldon Brown stopped him from going into the end zone. Great blocking up front, a 28-yard run for LaRon McClain.
Well, what they do is they do tackle over. You got Willie Anderson over here next to Chad Slaughter, unbalanced line. And Philadelphia, they never slide guys over, so they're outmanned. Chris Gokong just overran the play. That's exactly what happened. See, they kept their defensive line straight. They did shift the linebackers over, and Chris Gokong, that was his gap. He just overran it, and McClain hit it north and south.
Career high 88 yards rushing for LaRon McClain. Timeout called by Joe Flacco.
This is the first charge timeout, Baltimore.
Well, the Ravens closing in on a big victory. And don't forget, we've got some big games following this one. Many of you will see the Giants and the Arizona Cardinals from the desert in the stadium where the Giants won the Super Bowl last season. Others will see Washington at Seattle, Carolina at Atlanta. All big games on the second game of the NFL on Fox doubleheader.
Now, I don't think, if I heard Jay Glazer and the fellas at the pregame show the right way, is that Brandon Jacobs is going to play in that game. I think they had talked about him playing and thought he was, and then Jay got some late information that, in fact, Brandon Jacobs was going to sit today.
That means Ahmad Bradshaw and Derek Ward will carry the load.
I just can't stomach it.
Handoff inside to Lorenzo Neal, and he's short of the goal line. Well, for the Ravens, they will keep pace. One game out in the AFC North. For the Eagles, they will go to 5-5-1, and their chances are growing slimmer and slimmer. They've got a big game on Thursday night at home against Arizona.
Who would have seriously envisioned this coming in with Baltimore with a brand new first-year head coach and a rookie quarterback, Joe Flacco? And to be where they are right now.
They've done a great job.
Pretty amazing.
Here's McClain slipping outside, and he pulls his way in. Touchdown, LaRon McClain. His 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And 7th overall. And this game has gone from bad to worse for the Eagles.
He's just got so much power, and watch the right guard gets a nice kick out block, but it's all LaRon McClain. I mean, if you don't tackle him perfectly, and Darren Howard right there just arm tackles him, and when I say perfectly, I mean get your head and your body in front of him. He's just going to drag guys into the end zone. He is a 260-pound truck that you just can't stop unless you get your body in front of his to slow his momentum. He'll run through every arm tackle.
And Lorenzo Neal, the good blocker. That is Darren Howard, who is shaken up on the play. The Eagles have had some injuries in the game. Correll Buckhalter got shaken up in the first half and hasn't returned in this game. Asante Samuel got hurt in the second half, did not return to the game. And now we have Darren Howard down on the field. Not a lot of recovery time this week either.
No, they play on Thursday and Thanksgiving. Here's Darren Howard, 90, as he's going to reach out. There he is, number 90. He reaches out right here.
He's holding on.
Oh.
Somebody.
Yeah, wow. It looks like something with his right arm or his right shoulder is what it looked like.
Boy, tough to grab hold and bring down LaRon McClain, who is 260 pounds. That's a good sign. Darren Howard.
Well, they love this guy here now.
Okay, that is good to see. Howard up on his feet. LaRon McClain with a career-high 89 yards rushing. Second-year man out of Alabama, who's been used as a fullback to block a lot, but boy, he can carry the rock as well. And there's Darren Howard going off slowly, but that's a good sign, going off under his own power. The Ravens defense has set the tone for this game, and the offense has come through, putting up points on the board.
Well, Joe Flacco's made a couple of real key throws. Of course, the touchdown was probably a better catch. The first touchdown, better catch than it was throw by Daniel Wilcox. And then the terrific throw, the dart on the slant route. And then really LaRon McClain has been the brightest spot for this team offensively today.
Stover's extra point is good. And the Ravens have a 36-7 lead on the Philadelphia Eagles as they have blown this out. Hey, tonight's a big night, Tim. I mean, this is big. There is hope for us all because Jack is back. An all-new 2-hour television event, 24 Redemption, tonight at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. My discretion is I will watch that. Wow. 24 points given up by the Eagles in the fourth quarter today after giving up just 39 in the previous 10 games.
You know, since Jarrett Johnson forced that fumble against Donovan McNabb and knocked the ball out, this game has gone sideways for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, there's no question in my mind about that.
Yeah, I think you're totally right about that. The game started with McNabb hitting a couple of passes. They had that one good drive, and then the Jarrett Johnson play turned things around. The bouncing kick is picked up by Abiamire, and he is brought down across the 30. Chris Myers always has something on his mind. Chris?
Well, Sam, as the reputation of rookie Joe Flacco grows, and you mentioned that he grew up not too far from here and his father's up in the stands, he said a busload of 50 more fans were coming to watch this game. His quarterback coach, Hugh Jackson, who also coached in Cincinnati, Carson Palmer, noticed the maturity right away for a young quarterback and said Flacco just doesn't have a clock in his head. He has a Rolex because he understands the time and the circumstance. Now, it's 6'6". You know, his parents, his dad's 5'11", his mom is 5'6". How did Flacco end up 6'6"? He jokes that it was maybe the milkman, but he was a basketball player when he was younger, and his goal as a kid, he said, was to be bald and black like Michael Jordan.
He missed on both counts, Chris.
You know what they say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
Joe Flacco, who's got a couple of brothers that are playing ball. One of them is playing football. He says he always has to watch the way he is. He doesn't want. They're always making fun of him and trying to to get him in a bad position.
I think the guy's such a flatliner. I mean, in talking to him, you could just sense his poise was really, really good.
Kevin Cobb's pass is dropped by Brent Selleck. Young quarterbacks in the league, a couple of rookies have shown very well.
And they're both doing a lot of the same things. Been accurate with the deep ball, and you see Matt Ryan do it right here against Detroit. They can both move and throw off the move. We saw Joe Flacco do that on the touchdown to Daniel Wilcox, making plays with their feet. See Matt Ryan do it there. They both got good running games. I mean, Flacco led this team in rushing last week. And today he has leaned on the running game and has done a lot of that stuff. Made plays with his legs, threw off the run. It's been a good game for Joe Flacco against a very, very good defense.
Pressure on Kevin Cobb. He finds Brent Selleck, and the tight end is wrestled down at the 41-yard line. Looks like it'll be a first down. Rookie quarterbacks, all-time completion percentage. Joe Flacco, number 2 to Ben Roethlisberger. Matt Ryan, even with Charlie Fry, at 60%, third.
I think the big numbers is right here, all time. I mean,
amongst rookies, yeah.
Wow.
Well, coming into camp, Kyle Bowler was going to be the number 1 for the Ravens, and Joe Flacco was thought about. Everybody, top prospect, they'll bring him along, and yet his mindset was to come in as if he was going to be the starting quarterback. And as it turned out, injury to Bowler, Flacco gets the opportunity, steps in, and he went from number 3 to number 1.
Yeah, and there's Hugh Jackson, his quarterback coach right there, who really, as Chris said, has done a very, very good job with him. The O-linemen love him. They said they put him up to a test early, and he passed it with flying colors when they all went to dinner one night.
And they let him pick up the check.
Well, they all pretended they didn't have their wallets. Whoa, wait. They said the check came at the end of the meal, and Jason Brown told us, they said it was all set up that way. It was a test. We took him out to eat. He said, Joe, you want to come with us? Oh, sure. So they went and sat down. They had the meal, and then after the meal came, they all kind of reached around for their wallet, said, we forgot our wallet. And he said, without hesitation, Joe looked at all of them and said, I got it, fellas. He said he passed the test immediately.
That's what happens when you're a first-round pick and you got some extra cash for the bonus signing. You can take out the lineman for dinner. First and 20 for the Eagles. Cobb under pressure, gets it to Westbrook, and he's brought down by Corey Ivy across the 30. Oh, we talk about young quarterbacks. How about these veteran quarterbacks over 37? Brett Favre won again today, 8-3. They knocked off Tennessee. And how about Jeff Garcia? Tampa Bay won again, and they're 8-3. And later on, many of you will see Kurt Warner and the Arizona Cardinals, first place Arizona Cardinals, take on the first place New York Giants. Jason Avant with the catch.
Wow, that number right there tells it all. I mean, you got a QB rating, Joe Flacco, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, 95.5, and then McNabb and Kevin Cobb combined at 11.8. Would you say that Baltimore's defense responded today?
Big time. They really stepped up after the Giants took care of them. There's Donovan McNabb. You can only wonder what he's thinking, having stood by himself on the sideline in the second half. Watching Kevin Cobb, flag on the play. Cobb rolls and throws incomplete off the hands of Deshaun Jackson. Things were looking good for the Eagles when they went on a 3-game winning streak.
Number 72, a penalty has declined. It's 4th down.
But the last 3 weeks have been miserable for Andy Reid. 2-minute warning, and the Ravens are about to put this one away. Now they blitzed them from the outside. The coach got it from both sides.
Look at him. Look at him. They just hit him. All right, fellas.
And you know who was in the middle of that? Ray Lewis, the veteran. And he was hugging the coach. The Ravens about to go 7-4 under their first-year coach, the former Eagles assistant. Cobb's pass incomplete. Okay, Tim Ryan, Thursday night, the Eagles play at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Who starts at quarterback?
Well, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Of course, Andy Reid and Marty Morton-Henwig and the guys are going to go look at the tape and break this one down and really see how the guys did. And neither one of them did very good. I still think, based on what I've seen from Kevin Kolb, I still think McNabb gives them the best chance to win a football game. But that's going to be a huge, huge decision. It was a huge statement in setting him down at halftime today.
There's some happy people on the sideline. John Harbaugh, that's an excellent job of getting his team ready for his former team. And now they will take a knee and let the clock run down. Today's game produced by Mike Burks, directed by Rich Russo, Associate Director Neil Gallo, Technical Director, the Governor, John Howard. The broadcast associate is Eric Mandia, technical producer Frank Phillips. Pre-game show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Spotter in the booth, as always, Gary Lynn. Our statistician in the booth, Emmett McGuire. Mark Sosna on computer stats. Ty Yohe on the Fox box. And official stats, Joe Band. And, of course, on audio, the man who always makes us sound good, the Philadelphia man himself, Kevin McCluskey.
Sam, he asked who, so maybe A.J. Feely starts Thursday night.
Oh, look at you. Look at you coming up with another idea. For the Ravens, they've got some important games coming up. They go to Cincinnati. They'll be home against Washington, and then the big one, the showdown with Pittsburgh, could be for first place. They've got to go to Dallas. They've got some tough games on that schedule, but you know what? Their defense responded.
Their defense pitched a shutout today. There's Rex Ryan, the defensive coordinator, and John Harbaugh. They got to be so proud of their football team. 7 points given up, and it was on a kickoff return by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now, congratulations from his former players for John Harbaugh and his mentor, Andy Reid. The Eagles are 5-5-1. John Harbaugh's Baltimore Ravens are 7-4. The final, the Ravens win it 36-7.